Word. I got some cool lists. We got lots of submissions. And some of the lists that I have here that we're going to be reviewing after the submissions were actually suggested by people. So not only they're sending us lists, but
they're going out and seeking other ones.
Yeah, they're finding lists for us to review, which is totally cool.
They're doing our job for us.
Yeah, exactly. My job is most of the lists. Actually, you know what? It really was a great thing that they did that because I was like, oh god, we're going to find some lists, you know.
Yeah.
And one of these guys gave me a one list from a place called top10s.net. And I was like, this is a great site, and I just kind of went hog wild there, you know.
Hog wild. Haven't heard that one in a while. All right.
Yeah. So, who started off last time?
I think you did, actually.
All right. So that would make it your turn. And let me just, you know what? Before we get started here, let me turn off the light and get these pants off. Just rip these bad boys off like an animal.
I don't like where this is going, man.
I'm just putting my pajamas on. Relax.
Put on some Tandy Pendergrass, maybe.
No, I just put my pajama bottoms on because they're, super comfortable.
Oh, I'm already there.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm wearing pants at 10 to 10, but I've been busy. I haven't had time to remember that pants suck. I should have been born Scottish so I can go around wearing a kilt and not feel like a girl.
You gotta watch out for the updrafts.
Hey, it might feel good, man.
Yeah.
I like a little breeze down there, you know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna shut this off.
You know what? If that goes off during it, that'd be kind of funny. Just grab the microphone. Okay. Let me just get comfortable here, and I need to move my chair. There we go. All right. Oh, you know what? Before we start, I got. Ooh. Sorry about that. Just kind of belch took me by surprise.
Okay.
Remember how I was telling you that my friend Marielle was recording the end credits song for Chronicles of a Dark Lord Episode 2?
Yeah.
Well, she got us first demo.
Oh,
and
I thought you sent me the thing already before.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did. You listened to it, right?
Yeah, we talked about it.
Yeah. So,
it was great.
Yeah.
Remember I said it was like a nice
contrast? Yeah, well, we'll check this out. Tanya, who was so moved by it that she started crying, is actually sending the song out to like a whole bunch of big people in the games industry.
Hey, now.
So, and I'm going to be sending it to a few people that I know in the music industry. So, hey, we're really starting to come together here. Okay,
Excellent.
so, I'm ready when you are. You can go ahead and start it whenever you're ready.
Okay. Welcome, everybody, to the List Critics November edition. I am Armageddon Time, and with me, as always,
NecroVMX.
Alrighty.
I should have my own theme song. I'm going to get you, because I'm a partner, I should have a theme song. I'm going to get you to record it. It's just going to be, I'll ask you when you're drunk, though.
Oh, dear. Well, you might not have to wait too long.
There you go. Why, you going to be partying this weekend?
You bet.
Sweet! Mm-hmm. Well, I got lots of great lists for us in the meantime. Before we get to the lists that we're going to review that are on the internet, I have lists that people have sent us, so... First is a top 10 list sent to us from WWE Lover 100. It's a subscriber of mine, and I think he's also subscribed to you.
Oh.
I'm not sure, but I think so. He sent me his top 10 PlayStation 2 games.
Ooh. Okay.
Who doesn't love the PS2? Great system.
Yeah. It's still going. In fact, I was in an EB.
Oh, yeah.
I was in an EB Games earlier, and they had like Madden 12 or MLB 12 or something like that.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's definitely slowed down, but they are still making new PlayStation 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you expect to see on this list, like somebody's favorite PlayStation 2 games? What was one game that you think has to be on here?
That should be on there?
Yeah, one
Whoa.
game that you feel has to be on any list of top 10 PlayStation 2 games.
Oh God, there's so many that I haven't played. Maybe one of the one of the two God of War titles.
So you would expect that. See, but have you played those?
Yeah, I played both and beat
Okay.
both.
Oh,
They're
okay.
pretty good.
Well, neither of those are on here.
Well, there goes that.
It's a strange list. Number 10, he has Burnout 3, which, yawn. Move on.
Yeah, I never really played any racing on PS2.
Yeah. The next one is, I never heard of it, but it sounds interesting. It's called Echo Night Beyond. And he actually includes a little note. He says it's a horror game that takes place on the moon.
Whoa, crazy!
Which is it's a cool concept, right?
Yeah, man, that would, because you want to talk about the feeling of loneliness and fear, the moon,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Number 8 is Hitman 2's Silent Assassin.
I've watched one of my friends play through a couple of the Hitman games just because, I don't know, they're not really my kind of thing, but he seemed to really enjoy them.
Yeah, me neither. It's not exactly what I go for, but hey, whatever.
Some of the deaths are pretty funny.
Yeah. Number 7 is Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks, also known as the only Mortal Kombat game I haven't played because I can never find a copy of it.
I think that's the one I didn't play either of all the PS2 ones.
It's sort of a remake of Mortal Kombat 2, except instead of a fighting game, it's like an adventure game.
Oh, and you kind of like run around
To beat 'em up, yeah.
to different areas. Okay.
Liu Kang has a boomerang for whatever reason.
All right, Liu Kang with a boomerang.
Why not? It rhymes, right? Yeah, I don't know. I actually did find a copy of it, but it was bundled with Deception and an Armageddon, like all three. You couldn't just buy one; you had to buy all three.
Two games you already had.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, I have Deception and Armageddon. I have them both for PS2, so.
Yeah.
Number 6 is Transformers, and he includes a note. He's talking about the Atari one, not the one based on the movies, but the one that's just called the Transformers, which I've never played. I have the movie-based one. It sucks.
Yeah.
So there you have it.
I don't know which one he's talking about, really.
It came out before the movie. It was kind of obscure.
Well, it better be good.
To be number 6 on his list, it better be good.
Yeah.
At number 5, he has Kingdom Hearts 2.
Oh, why didn't I pick one of the Kingdom Hearts games?
Well, you would think that, he doesn't seem to be much of an RPG fan because that's the only RPG on the list.
And it's a good one.
It is a good one. I mean, I just figure if you're going to pick only one RPG from the PlayStation 2, it seems weird that you go for Kingdom Hearts and not like Final Fantasy X or Dragon Quest VIII or something.
True. Oh, yeah, you got the big heart on for Dragon Quest VIII, yeah.
Yeah, well, of course. I'm getting a little stiffy down there just thinking about it.
Feel some blood rushing?
Yeah, definitely. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Number 4 is Spider-Man 2, which is a great game.
That is a great game. Just swinging around, it feels so open.
I don't know if I'd call it the 4th best PlayStation 2 game of all time, but it's a good game.
Maybe the 4th best in his collection.
Yeah, there you go. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Number 3 is Killzone.
Never really played the Killzone games. They're never really on my radar.
Same here. Number 2, Mortal Kombat Deception.
Ooh.
That's a good one. Personally, if I was going to pick one of the PS2 games, I would pick that one. I mean, Armageddon is like it has more characters and everything. But I think Deception was just a better game overall.
Tighter, yeah.
Yeah. And his number 1 pick for the best fucking hell. The best PlayStation 2 game of all time is Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. Oh,
yeah. Actually, that is a pretty fun game, man.
I guess if you're going to pick any of the Metal Gear games...
It would be Snake Eater, yeah.
But still. I don't have much love for this list.
Yeah, it's kind of a couple of games I haven't really played just because I didn't care enough to play. A lot of them are just I'm not interested in, or I just think it's... You kind of hit on it when you said it's just the best 10 in his collection, and it doesn't sound like he has a very large collection. I mean, props to him for including some more obscure ones like Echo Knight and Transformers, but, I don't know if they're any good. Yeah, just simply because of the obscurity.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give this a 4 out of 10.
I don't know. I mean, there were a couple that I liked. I think I'm going to go right down the middle with a 5.
5, okay.
Yeah.
The next list is from Lemur Kong.
Lemur Kong.
Lemur Kong, yes. He is given another top 10 games on a system. This is his top 10 Nintendo 64 games.
Hey, all right.
Now, he says it's a weird list because some share a spot. So.
Like tied for second or tied for fourth,
Yeah, I mean, I personally think you got to pick one or the other,
Yeah.
Number 10 is Bomberman 64: The Second Attack. Now, that's an obscure one. Everybody loved Bomberman 64. A lot of people skipped on the sequel because it came out kind of later in the N64's lifespan, and not many people got to play it. But if you, and I gotta say, if you liked Bomberman 64, then it's just more. It's better. Yeah.
I thought Bomberman 64 was all right, but I preferred Bomberman Hero.
Well, wasn't that on?
I thought that was 64, wasn't it?
You know what? I'm not sure. I'm almost thinking it was on the GameCube, but that might have been another kind of like RPG Bomberman game that I'm thinking of.
Oh, I hope I'm not incorrect.
I have a gang of Bomberman games sitting in the closet, so I don't know. Number 9 is a twofer. He gives the spot to both GoldenEye and to Perfect Dark. Now,
I don't know.
I have to take umbrage with this because I know that they're similar. Perfect Dark's sort of a spiritual sequel. They share the same engine, but honestly, one of them is better than the other, and you should pick one. And I think that should be Perfect Dark.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically the engine of GoldenEye, but everything improved, right?
Exactly.
Tweaked, you might say.
It's very, very refined. And you know what I always thought was weird is a lot of people were just gaga over GoldenEye's multiplayer. But as far as multiplayer goes, I thought Perfect Dark had a way better multiplayer. It had better maps, it had better weapons, and it had some of the most popular maps from GoldenEye.
Really? I didn't know that. I didn't really play.
Yeah, like you could play, like the facility in GoldenEye. You could play that in Perfect Dark.
Oh, really?
I mean, obviously it has the weapons from Perfect Dark, but I mean, it's the same map. There's like 3 or 4 of them from GoldenEye. I think you have to unlock them, but they are there.
I didn't know that.
A lot of fun. I played the hell out of those multiplayer maps back in the day. Number 8, Mario Kart 64. That's a great one.
I don't really like Mario Kart 64.
What don't you like about Mario Kart 64?
I don't know. It's just when I play it and I control it, it just feels kind of weird in my hands. That's all.
I don't know.
It's a personal preference thing. I don't think the game is bad. I don't really like it that much.
It was my favorite Mario Kart until the DS one came out.
Oh yeah, the DS one's great.
Yeah, I mean, I tell you a quick story. I might have told you this before, but I didn't tell it on List Critics. You know that guy John Gibson that does the Video Master show on YouTube?
No, but I do now.
He's annoying. He kind of sounds like a Rush Limbaugh type, like, "Hello there, everybody. This is Video Masters." Blah, 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 Anyway, I actually went to school with him. I went to high school with him.
Oh.
And so I kind of know what a jackass he is in real life. And, he actually, like, a lot of the big complaints about his show, Video Masters, is that he tries to be funny, but he's not.
Ooh.
But he actually was kind of funny back in high school, which is kind of why we hung out a bit. But anyway, I remember the way I fucking met him was that he just basically came up to me and asked me if I had Nintendo 64. I said yes. He asked me if I had Mario Kart. I said yes. And he's like, "I can beat you at it." And I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird. Just come up to someone and just be like, "You have Mario Kart? Yeah, I can kick your ass at it." Just like, okay, you don't know that. He's like, "No, I do know it. Nobody's better than me at Mario Kart."
Oh, this I got to hear.
So I'm just like, well, why don't you come over to my house and, put your fucking, controller where your mouth is?
Yeah.
And I kicked his ass. It wasn't even close.
Who's your guy?
Yoshi.
Oh, wow, interesting.
Yoshi. Basically, Yoshi's the best character in the game.
I would have guessed you would have picked one of the bigger characters.
Well, my backup is Wario.
Yeah.
Like, if somebody gets to Yoshi before I can, I'll pick Wario. Because Yoshi has the same speed that Toad and the Princess has. He has that high speed, but he's heavy as Mario and Luigi. So he has more control. So he's got he's got the speed advantage of the lightweight characters without the disadvantage of being too light. Whereas Wario has the strength advantage of the bigger characters, but he has better acceleration than them. But they're the only two unique characters in the game, because actually, like, Bowser and DK play exactly the same. Toad and the Princess play exactly the same, and Mario and Luigi play exactly the same.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, well, this is why I kicked his ass, because I actually know that game inside and out. And we came over. We played one race on each track, head to head, and there's 20 tracks, and there's like 16 tracks and 4 battle tracks, and I won 16, and he won 4. And one of the most embarrassing moments for him was Calamari Desert, where we had to pause it because I had a phone call, so I paused it, and I went in the other room to take my phone call. And he unpauses it and, like, tries to cheat. He puts my cart, like, in the middle of the desert facing the wrong way. And I still fucking won.
What? How can he be that bad?
Well, you know what it is you don't really want to get too far ahead in Mario Kart because of the way the AI works. Like, if you get really far behind, the game starts giving you, like, all the best power-ups. Like, you're way more likely to get, like, stars and blue shells and shit.
Yeah.
So you want to keep people just behind you.
Mm-hmm.
That's the trick to really keeping people behind you.
You get too far ahead,
right.
Someone's going to get a blue shell.
Exactly. Let's move on. Number 7, and I take umbrage with this in a major way. Number 7 is Diddy Kong Racing.
Man, another kart racer.
I don't even like Diddy Kong Racing, to be honest. I thought it was a cheap Mario Kart knockoff. It didn't have the same sense of speed. The items were not nearly as interesting. The characters were not as interesting. The tracks were not as interesting. The only thing it had going for it was the airplane levels.
Yeah, I was going to say the flying levels were all right.
Yeah. It had those boat levels that no one fucking cared about, and a story mode that took way too long to get through. So I'll just stick to Mario. Yeah. I'll just stick to Mario Kart,
And it was very uninteresting.
Yeah. Number 6 is a game that I personally spent a hell of a long time playing, is Star Fox 64.
Oh my god, getting those medals! I was always trying to get them.
Yeah.
Log onto this, log onto that, get the highest score.
Oh, yeah, that was fun. Number 5, Super Smash Brothers.
I still like the first one.
Well, I think the sequels were far superior. I actually didn't really care for the first Smash Brothers that much.
Yeah, just because the sequels are superior. You don't count out the original, right?
Yeah, but I never liked it.
Well, I did.
I never liked it.
I liked it when it was.
I thought it was a great idea.
When it was the only game in town, the only Smash Brothers in town, I still thought it was fantastic.
I don't know. I did everything there is to do in it in a weekend, so that I felt it was way too short of a game, But and then like Melee came out and just like blew everybody away.
Oh yeah, fantastic! And then Brawl
honestly, Brawl is even better. Like a lot of people prefer Melee, but I think Brawl was the best one.
Me too.
Super Smash Brothers, I really don't see that as being top 10 material for N64. I think there's a lot of other great games he could have put in that spot.
I just thought of one that I hope to see on here, but I'll let you know unless it is.
You know what? I forgot to ask you, so go ahead and tell me what you would expect to see on here.
I'm hoping Paper Mario's on there.
That's not.
It's really... Come on.
It's not, no. Oh. I'm going to use my veto power, take Super Smash Brothers off the list, and put Paper Mario on there.
Yeah, there you go.
The power of veto. Number 4 is Super Mario 64. Certainly a very influential game. You kind of expect to see it on these lists. Personally, I do think there's better games to put on there instead.
Banjo-Kazooie?
Yeah, well, that's on here. But...
In terms of platformers, anyway.
Yeah, well, speaking of better platformers, number 3 is Donkey Kong 64. Which really the only bad thing you could possibly say about Donkey Kong 64 is it's almost too long.
Yeah, there's an awful lot to do in that game.
Yeah.
To 100% it.
Yeah, so you'll never get bored playing it, though.
Unless you're trying to go for like the same goal for forever.
Yeah, but
it's the last thing you have to do.
But you know what, though? It's a good game, and you'll just sit there, keep trying it. You won't be like, fuck this, and walk off, Number 2 is another one that shares spot. He has both Zelda games on here. He has Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask.
Both fantastic.
And I'm going to say this. Yeah, they are both good, but I'm going to say the same thing I said before. You got to pick one.
I would pick
one of them.
I would pick Majora's Mask.
And you know I would pick Ocarina of Time.
Of course.
Because Majora's Mask is one of my least favorite Zelda games.
It is definitely not one of my least favorite Zelda games.
But number one, and I do got to applaud him for putting this as number one, because it's one of my personal favorite N64 games, is Banjo-Kazooie.
There it is.
Yeah. This is a good list. It is sort of dominated by Nintendo stuff, but you kind of expect that on N64 because it wasn't too much third-party stuff.
Yeah, the third-party stuff kind of a weak showing on it.
Yeah. Personally, like I said, I would take Smash Brothers off, and I would definitely put Paper Mario on there.
Mm-hmm.
I think Mario 64 is a little high. I think it should be lower. You know, honestly, looking at this, the only third-party game on here is Bomberman. You have all first-party and second-party games. It's kind of interesting the way that worked out.
Mm.
I'm trying to think, like, other than Paper Mario, I'm trying to think if there's anything major that he left out. And, well, I mean, I would have put Doom 64 on there. You know that.
Oh, right, of course. You know, your favorite Doom.
I would have put that at number one.
Whoa. But, slow down.
I definitely would have put it at number one. Okay, but let's. I'm going to say 7 out of 10. It was a good list, not great. I'm going to say 7 out of 10.
Yeah. Actually, I don't know. I mean, it had Mario 64 and Banjo-Kazooie, and it had 2 Zeldas, and it had Diddy Kong, and I don't know. I'm going to give it a 6.
Okay, so you're going a little harsher there.
Yeah.
Next list is a top 5 list from Mr. Lover of Ganja.
Hey, now.
His top 5 most hated video game characters. What would you expect to see on here?
Now, wait, does this mean, like, these people are annoying and frustrating, or is it like the character development is so good that they must be hated?
Judging from what he put on there, I'm going to go with annoying.
Navi.
Everybody says Navi. I don't really find her annoying. I don't see what the big deal is. You know what it is that she starts going, hey, hey, and then like people try to ignore her instead of just pressing C up and getting it over with.
I guess it's just just being forced into the C up thing, like, I don't want to deal with this kind of thing.
Well, it's like, I know it's a tutorial and you already know how to play the game, but just press it. It takes 2 seconds, and that way you don't have to fucking blow your brains out listening to her for 10 minutes, you know? Because she won't stop until you press it.
But in Majora's Mask, it was much better. It wasn't a hey, it was just a little ding, ding, ding.
Well, whatever.
Yeah. Another reason to like Majora's Mask. Win!
Fail. All right, so number 5 is Squall from Final Fantasy VIII. And his note is, yeah, I'll give you something to brood about, you whiny little...
Oh, I hope
Joey calls him the young, gay David Bowie.
That's fantastic.
He's definitely the most irritating main character in a Final Fantasy game.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Titus had his moments anyway.
Yeah, but Titus was at least, like, you understood why he was so annoying because he was a jock and that was sort of his personality and he was, arrogant. But Squall is just like an emo and they're way more annoying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Shut up, yeah.
Jock versus emo. I don't know. That's a toss-up.
No, I'd much... Well, who would you rather hang out with, a jock or an emo?
I don't know.
The jock is going to have liquor, and the emo is just going to make you listen to his bad poetry. This is a very easy choice for me. I don't know about you, but...
Yeah.
Number 4, he's got Baby Mario.
That's a for sure right there. Although it was,
you know what though,
it was motivation to go.
I was just about to say that as irritating as it is, it's part of what makes Yoshi's Island such an amazing game is that you want to get him because you don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
You don't want to get hit either because you don't want to hear it. So I think it was a good motivator. Number 3, Navi, obviously. Hey, listen, over here. Watch out. Hey, listen.
Hello.
I think she would have been slightly less irritating if she didn't have the obnoxious Japanese accent.
Yeah.
Well, whatever.
Yeah.
Number 2 is Toad. He's got Toad, and his example is, thank you, Mario, but our princess is in another castle.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, what, you expect the princess to be in the very first castle? At least he's telling you.
Yeah, but like if there are 8 castles set up for Mario, it's like, oh,
why don't you just
I hope
go
she's
to
in
the
the
eighth
first
one?
one.
Yeah, I know, right? Why don't you just go to the 8th one? No, I mean, like, what do you know, like, I don't know, what do you expect him to say? Like, Mario's going to come up and like, where's the princess? And Toad's like, I don't know. And then what does he do?
Or maybe he's Toad from Mario Kart 64. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh, well. I always liked the voice that was like, are you ready to play? That cracks me up. And number 1, the dog from Duck Hunt.
I can't.
I don't know. I mean,
the dog was helpful. Everybody up all the ducks.
Everybody's had that moment where you're like, fuck you, dog, But I don't know if he's the most irritating. I think, honestly, Baby Mario deserves the number 1 spot.
Yeah, because if there's one annoying sound in the world, it's definitely Baby.
Okay, out of 5. This is a good list, though. I mean, there's nothing on here that I felt doesn't belong.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give it, you know what, though? It's not perfect in its own. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with that, too. 4 out of 5.
Okay. And last submitter for lists is Chris Collett 222.
Hey now.
Hey now. He has a top 5 list and a top 20 list.
Good heavens.
Yeah. Which one do you want to hear first?
Let's go the Big 20 first and finish with the 5.
Okay. The Big 20 is his 20 favorite video game series of all time.
Oh, okay.
Very interesting.
20 favorites. So these are Chris Collett 222's favorite series.
His favorite series. Number 20 is Metal Gear Solid.
Good move, Chris. Good move.
Yeah.
Thumbs up, man. Thumbs up.
Thank you for putting it at number 20 at least. Number 19, Silent Hill. It's a good series that kind of went by the wayside, so that's probably why he has it so low.
They still keep coming out with them. There's a new one coming out, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But like
I think the new
Rainfall
one
or something like that.
Yeah, I think... Well, they had one that was sort of a remake of the first one, so maybe this is a remake of the second one. I don't know what's going on.
Maybe.
Number 18, and this is where you could really tell that Chris is from Kentucky. Real Fishin'.
Oh, Lord. Wait, they made more than one of those?
I would assume so, since he has it as his video game series. I wouldn't know. You think I know about fishing games?
Yes.
Dude, if I'm going to go fishing, I'll fucking go fishing. I'm not going to fucking, play fishing on a fucking game.
I remember playing the demo for a Sega Bass Fishing on Dreamcast, and I was bored.
And you know what's sad is they say if you like fishing games, the Dreamcast was the place to go,
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't say much about that. Like I said, you could really tell he's from Kentucky.
Yeah.
Number 17 is Kirby. You can't go wrong with Kirby games. I mean,
each one of them.
They're pretty much all good, so...
Mm-hmm. Even, the kind of offbeat ones like Epic Yarn and...
Oh, I loved Epic Yarn, though.
Kirby's Avalanche, which is basically Puyo Pop.
It's Puyo Puyo. I mean, so what?
Which is good.
Yeah.
Can't go...
Puyo Puyo is a good game. No, but Epic Yarn was great, dude. I mean, it's easy, but it's challenging at the same time. Yeah, you can't die.
Golf course, air ride...
But, I mean... Well, the golf game is a little weird because of the isometric view, but I haven't actually played air ride. Let's move on. Number 16, and I'm surprised to see this so low, is Mario.
There's
a lot of series that he likes more than Mario.
I guess maybe he's not into too much platforming? Yeah. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, he's got other platformers on here. He's just got Mario down at number 16.
I guess he's not
Speaking
into
of which... Now, number 15 is interesting because it's sort of related, is Donkey Kong. And I'm going to assume that he means Donkey Kong Country, which is the ones that had nothing to do with Mario.
Mm-hmm.
Which is basically 5 games. So.
And is also, pretty heavily platforming.
Yeah, 8 if you count those Game Boy ones.
Yeah, Donkey Kong Land and the...
Yeah, Land 2, Land 3, 3 country games, 64, and the new one on the Wii. Number 14's Punch-Out!
Oh, fantastic.
Who doesn't like Punch-Out? I mean, especially, I think the 2 games that everybody gravitates to is the third one, which was Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, and the most recent one on the Wii. Although I gotta say, there's a lot to be said for Super Punch-Out on the Super NES.
I know,
right?
One. It's different, but it feels like Punch-Out still.
It is different, but it's so fun,
Yeah, it still feels like a Punch-Out game.
Exactly. Number 13 is Splatterhouse.
Oh, I loved the Splatterhouse game.
That was an interesting one. I wonder what he thinks of that new one that really kind of wasn't that good.
Oh, I forgot about that. I don't know how that game is actually.
I've heard it was bad.
Oh.
Number 12 is Rolling Thunder.
I played one of these for a request for him. It's pretty much a beat 'em up kind of.
Yeah.
But,
I mean,
no, it's all right.
I think I've done videos on them too. I'm not sure. Number 11, and I got to disagree on this one, is Bionic Commando. I mean, okay, you had the original arcade one, which was really goofy and weird, and not that good. You had the NES one, which is way, way, way overrated.
I agree.
You had the Game Boy one, which was decent. And then you had that 360 one that was like, it looks okay until you actually start playing it and you realize it's all bullshit.
Is that the one where like you're swinging along and all of a sudden you run into invisible walls? Like even on 360 and PS3, still invisible walls?
Yeah. And then there was the Rearmed for like Xbox Live and PSN, which I haven't played, but I heard it was okay. But
is that a remake of the NES?
I think it's more like a reimagining of the arcade one.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure though, but you know what? I gotta say, is it really better than Mario?
Oh, that's true. I mean, everything's going to be going back to Mario now, isn't it?
Yeah. Number 10, and this is another one I kind of take umbrage with, is Duke Nukem.
Maybe he really likes the PC games? Like Duke Nukem 1 and 2?
Duke Nukem 1 and 2 were fun but fairly unimaginative platforming action games. 3D was a classic. Forever sucks. And then the spin-offs are kind of hit and miss, and they're not really part of the series because they're not developed by the same people.
I tried the one I think that was on Game Boy Color, and
that was bad.
I was so bored, man.
It was supposed to be a remake of Duke Nukem 2, but it's not even close. Number 9, Final Fantasy.
All right.
I mean, you would expect to see that on here, I guess.
around the middle of the road too, kind of like
interesting. Number 8 is Street Fighter.
Also good.
Loves me some Street Fighter. Very strange though that it goes to number 7, which is Final Fight. Better than Street Fighter.
This is his list, right? I mean,
yeah, but I mean, the first Final Fight was a classic. The sequels on Super NES were good, and then it got weird.
Yeah, like wasn't there one on PS2?
Oh yeah, Final Fight Streetwise.
Streetwise, that's
notoriously bad. And then there was the Saturn one, and I don't know. Number 6 is the King of Fighters. That's a great series. Got to give him props for giving King of Fighters proper respect.
I think I've only played like the first like King of Fighters 94 and 95 or something like that.
94 was the first one.
Yeah, like I only played the first couple. I was like, yeah, they're all right, but
they're very influential at least. Number 5 is Doom. Can't go wrong with Doom.
Yeah, I've only played 1 and 2, but they were very fun, and I assume the rest are as good.
You never played Final Doom or Doom 3 or Doom 64?
Oh, sorry, correction. I did play Doom 64.
Oh, there you go. Number 4, and I give him props for putting this so high, is Dragon Quest. I take umbrage with the next one, though. Number 3 is Twisted Metal.
Ooh, a game series I've never played, but the reviewers say, it wasn't bad back in the day.
But number 3.
Yeah, I mean, this guy must really like his shooting racing games.
Damn, I mean, wow. Number 2 is Mortal Kombat, which is interesting. Not only is it higher than Street Fighter, but also King of Fighters, and it's the highest ranked fighting game series on here.
Number 2.
Mortal Kombat, the second best video game series. I don't know about that.
Keep in mind, second favorite.
Well, according to everybody thinks their favorites are the best. I mean, that's the whole point of having favorites.
That's true.
And number 1, and I'm probably going to be bumping Chris's score up by 2 for doing this. Number 1 is Castlevania.
Oh, there you go. Playing favorites with the host now, are you?
I think he is. Well, no, actually, me and Chris have talked extensively about Castlevania in the past, and I know he's almost as big of a fan as I am. So, he's huge into Castlevania, and so am I.
Oh, it's a fantastic series.
This is a good list. There's some weirdness. Okay, I'm gonna just take his word for it on Real Fishing.
That was some fantastic games, man.
Yeah, Mario's very low. Twisted Metal's very high. But other than that, I mean, there's nothing that I feel like. There is something major missing. There's no Zelda.
I know, right? I was waiting
for Zelda. No Mega Man. No Metroid.
Maybe he just never got into those series and hasn't just picked them up.
Maybe, but yeah, you know what? I'm going to be kind. Okay. Like I would say that it's about say a 13 out of 20, but I told you I'd give him an extra 2 points for Castlevania, so I'm going to say 15 out of 20.
Oh snap! I'm giving him 14 out of 20. I think it deserves that.
There you go.
It's a good pass.
You notice all of it. We've been one off on all these except for the one that we agreed on.
We agreed on one, yeah.
Yeah. And his other list is his top 5 favorite YouTube channels.
Uh-oh.
Okay, now number 5 is the only one on here that I'm not familiar with. It's Luke Morse 1.
Luke Morse 1.
Do you know Luke Morse 1?
The name does not ring a bell.
I'm going to bring it up real quick here.
All right, let's see what we got here. It's going to be nothing but cat videos, I bet.
I don't think so. It's got to have something to do with gaming, knowing him.
Probably, maybe.
Let's see. Looks like this guy is a video game collector that posts update videos on his collections, which looks very, very extensive from what I'm seeing. Yeah. Looks like he collects a lot of Neo Geo stuff.
Oh my god.
He's got arcade boards. Dude must have money if he's collecting Neo Geo stuff. Yeah, he's a major game collector. He's got over 1,100 videos of just games he's collected and stuff.
Go figure. Chris is into that kind of thing.
And he's got a lot of subscribers.
Oh, snap.
He's got over 15,000 subscribers. So, way to go to Luke Morse 1. You're also the 5th best channel according to Chris Collette 222.
All right.
Number 4 is Armageddon Time.
Hey, that's me.
That is you.
I beat out many other choices, but I managed to nab number 4.
And Luke Morse 1.
Collector.
He actually apologizes to you for putting you so low, though.
Oh, well, I'm just honored to be on the list at all.
I know, right? I mean...
Yeah.
Let's see. Sorry, I got a lie on there. Number 3 is Kazora Studios.
Hey, very nice.
Can't go wrong with it. He's become a very, very big fan of Chronicles of a Dark Lord, and it's actually a shame because he ordered the enhanced edition, right?
Yeah.
And actually his shipment got a little delayed because we ran out of them.
Oh no!
So he wound up getting some free stuff to go with it. We emailed him, apologized, and he actually got a $5 off of a pre-order of episode 2. So
a little motivation for the second episode, which he will undoubtedly probably get.
Exactly. Number 2 is the Happy Console Gamer.
I think I've seen that before, but it must have a long time ago. I don't know.
I think pretty much everybody has seen Happy Console Gamer. Sounds like he's the opposite of the angry video game nerd.
That's what I figured he was going for.
Yeah, because he's happy,
Yeah.
Well, no, he's major. He's a big YouTube partner. He has a lot of subscribers. He's got over 36,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
So, and like AVGN, he's working on a movie.
Oh, I forgot about the AVGN movie.
Yeah. Well, he's been actually. I can give you an update on that. He's been going around doing casting calls.
Ooh, hey!
There's been auditions all over the place.
Come to Ottawa.
You never know, right?
Right.
Where was I? Number 1 is NecroVMX. I've never heard of him, but he sounds like an asshole.
Dun, 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 dun. You win the prize. You are the wiener.
He's so kissing my ass.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Flattery will get you everywhere, Chris. I'm going to give your list a 5 out of 5.
Well, I think I'm going to give the list kind of where I was placed on it. 4 out of 5. Dun, dun,
so wait, if he put you at number 1, would you have given it a 1 out of 5?
No, it's just very convenient that it worked out that way.
Oh, okay. Right, moving along. Okay, so that's all of our submitted lists. So now we're going to move on to our lists from the internet. And a few of these were submitted by people. I don't have the names in front of me. But if you do find lists on the internet that you want us to review, send them to me. And I'm not promising that we will, but...
And they don't have to be your own,
Yeah, exactly. So this is a list. It's a top 12 list from listverse.com. It's the top 12 most controversial games of all time.
Ooh, my mouth just curled up into a big old smile.
I kind of wonder why they went for 12. Very strange.
It's a controversial number.
I guess.
12 Monkeys, WrestleMania 12. That's all I got. 12 eggs.
If you're going to go for a controversial number, why not go for 13?
I don't know. It's controversial that they didn't pick it. There you go.
Oh snap. There you go. Oh, snap, son. All right, so what would you expect to see on here? Like, what would you think the number one most controversial game of all time is? I haven't really looked at this. So
I don't know how new this list exactly is, but...
I can tell you it was posted in June of 2010.
Oh, okay, so
fairly recent, last year.
Yeah. I don't know. Mortal Kombat's got to be on there because that's like one of the games that brought rise to the ESRB.
Yeah, it's not controversial by today's standards, but the ESRB exists because of it.
Yes,
it was one of the first video game. It is the first video game that I remember hearing about on the news. So I would expect to see it somewhere on here.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta agree with that. Number 12 is Manhunt.
Oh.
And that definitely, that did elicit a lot of controversy. It's banned in a lot of countries.
I thought that was Manhunt 2 that was banned in a lot of countries. Manhunt 1 wasn't so bad?
Well, they both were. Manhunt 2 was worse.
Okay.
Manhunt 2 actually, the PC version's rated AO and is therefore very hard to find.
Oh, they actually went all AO on it.
Yeah, exactly. The console versions were toned down to an M. But yeah, Manhunt, it definitely got a lot of controversy. Number 11 is Left Behind Eternal Forces.
Really?
So, okay, it's based on the Christian novels.
Yeah.
It's a real-time strategy game. I've never heard of it, so how controversial could it be?
I've seen it actually in EB Games before, and I have this friend who has a sister that's all into Bible stuff, and is like, you should get her that game.
Yeah, but okay, from what I'm reading here, I guess it was very violent, and people thought that it promoted religious violence and bigotry.
Mm-hmm.
So I can understand that.
Yeah, I mean that's two issues: religion and violence. People don't really want to put those two together ever.
Yeah. Number 10 is Beat 'em and Eat 'em for the Atari 2600.
Yeah.
That's the one with the guy on the roof jerking off, and the women
the two ladies kind of go left and right. You got to catch them all.
It's basically like they took Kaboom and replaced the bombs with jizz.
I think
I don't know.
There's an alternate version actually of
where there's a witch and there's like milk coming out of her titties and there's two dudes.
Two dudes, yeah.
That's definitely less sexy because you're thinking about catching like dried up old witch titty milk.
Witch tit milk, yeah, not exactly all that pleasing.
Doesn't sound very good. Well, I mean, I guess it depends on how good looking the witch is.
Sexy witch?
My girlfriend's a sexy witch.
Well, there you go. See?
Yeah. I don't know that one was very particularly controversial. I think you could actually lump all the Mystique games in one.
Yeah, like...
Speaking of which, is number 9, Custer's Revenge.
I was going to say, Custer's Revenge. It's another one of those.
Custer's Revenge is sort of the perfect trilogy of offensiveness. It's racist, sexist, and
violent?
Terrible.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, violent in the way they're throwing spears at you, but I mean, it's racist, it's sexist, and it's just plain bad.
Mm-hmm.
So it's offensive on like every level.
But isn't he like raping her in it? Because she's tied to.
Well, that's why I said sexist. You know, there actually were later games, later versions of it, not called Custer's Revenge, but they actually changed the graphics slightly so that she's like gesturing her arm, like "Come over here, big boy," kind of thing.
That's a little more lean.
So it takes the rape part out of it, but still, just the idea of doing a pornographic game on the Atari 2600 is just so bizarre that I don't even know why they bothered.
And every time you pump inside her, it goes do-do-do-do-do-do. Like, yeah, that's...
The revelry.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm surprised it's low on the list. I'm surprised it's number 9. Because it's probably the only game on the list, the only game that I know of that actually had people protesting.
People protested the game?
Yeah, there were a bunch of Native American anti-defamation groups that were doing it,
Oh.
and women's rights activists. So.
Oh, okay, I can see all that.
Yeah, they kind of have a point. I mean,
yeah.
I've played Custer's Revenge. There's nothing good about it.
Sadly, no.
Speaking of nothing good about it, number 8 is a Japanese exclusive, Battle Raper.
Holy cripes, really?
Yeah. It's sort of a 3D fighting game, I would say similar to not similar to in quality, but it looks like a kind of a Soul Blade or Soul Calibur type of game.
Okay.
Some people say it plays like Tekken. I don't know. I've never played it. I never will.
Yeah.
But a lot of the moves are just like forcing yourself on the other character and like making them give you a blowjob and shit. But the thing is, like, they don't show dicks, so it's like the guy will just like put the chick's head in front of him and like she'll start crying, which just makes it so much worse.
Oh my! Oh, you're making me uncomfortable.
And then she's like blowing an invisible dick, and watching it is even worse. And then when you win, you just like fuck their unconscious body. So. Oh my god! Yeah.
That sounds terrible.
Only number 8, though. I mean, well, I guess because you know, I got to remember that they're not doing the most offensive games; they're doing the most controversial games. And I guess because this only came out in Japan, there couldn't have been too much controversy about it.
Everywhere
there would be
else,
controversy, in Japan, but not everywhere else. And let's face it, they're kind of lenient with rape over there.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but true. Number 7, and I didn't even know this game existed until now, it's called JFK Reloaded.
Oh, I think I know where this is going. Are you on the grassy knoll?
You play as Lee Harvey Oswald, and it's basically you gotta kill President Kennedy.
And if you don't get it back into the left, then you fail.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Some people are so dark.
So basically, it's supposed to be like a historical simulation, and what it says here is the company ran a competition in 2005 to see who could get the highest score and get closest to 100% accurate simulation of JFK's death. A man from France won $10,000 with a score of 782 out of 1,000.
Wow. So he almost nailed it, so to speak.
That's just... Number 6, another Japanese game.
Of course.
This one's called Replay.
I actually watched somebody play through the entire game. It is disturbing. Of course, they fuzzed out all the weird bits.
Yeah, but still, I mean...
It's...
Wow. My only experience with this was reading about it on Penny Arcade, so, I mean... Replay, yeah.
I watched this French guy play through it.
How sad is it that there's a market for this?
Yeah, what is it with... Right, is it because, you know, it's, I hopefully, against the law, and you're like, well, if I can't do it to a real girl, I'll just do it to one that doesn't even exist. But that's still messed up, though.
I have nothing positive to say about this. But then again, I gotta wonder how controversial it was, you know, coming out in Japan. Although then again, I've heard of it, so...
Heck, I've seen it. People import those weird games.
It must be worth money, at least.
Or just for the sake of weirdness, you know?
Yeah, or maybe they're perverts.
Yeah, preverts.
Number 5 is Super Columbine Massacre RPG. Kind of knew I'd see that one.
I'd never heard of this one. Wow.
Oh, really? Oh,
wow.
Yeah. It was supposed to be a parody of violent video gaming, but it was just tasteless. I mean... It's pretty obvious what the game's about. The less said about that, the better.
Yeah. Let's move on.
Number 4, our only iPhone app on here.
Oh.
And I can't believe this exists. It's called Baby Shaker.
Oh, no. You shake your eye and it, baby. Oh, no.
The picture of a baby comes up on the iPhone screen, and you shake your cell phone and to stop them from, like, they'll cry, and then you shake it to stop them from crying. And according to this, when you had shaken them enough, red crosses appeared over their eyes, signifying the fact that they had died.
Oh my God! What is wrong with you people?
Yeah. Apparently, Apple was none too pleased and took it off the iPhone store in 2009. I gotta wonder how it got on there to begin with.
Yeah, I bet. Maybe they increased their standards and practices or something.
Number 3 I've never heard of, but just the name of it is offensive. Number 3 is Muslim Massacre.
I don't know which way this one is going. Do you play a Muslim massacring or the other way around?
I think it's the other way around. According to this, the full title is Muslim Massacre: The Game of Modern Religious Genocide.
Ooh.
Judging from it, looks like a Super Smash TV, only very bloody, and you're killing Muslims, which is just wrong.
Oh, this list is depressing me.
The bosses include Osama bin Laden. Okay, I could understand that.
Yeah.
Muhammad, which
whoa,
they're lucky they haven't gotten killed for making the game.
Okay.
And apparently the last boss is Allah.
Holy jumping! You're just stomping all over the Muslim religion.
I just want to say something to the people who made this game. If you're listening, and I hope you're not. Allah is an Arabic word that means God. They worship the same God that you do because you're probably Christian. They believe in Adam and Eve. They believe Jesus and all that shit. So that's just the fact that you did that.
You are killing God.
You probably would go to hell if there was such a thing.
Mm-hmm. Take that.
Games like that make me wish that. Yeah, I'm gonna move on.
Yeah.
Oh, I've heard of the next one. The next one is called Ethnic Cleansing.
I've heard of it too.
And not in a good way.
No.
A first-person shooter where you fight black people that make monkey sounds, and then the last boss is like a stereotypical Jew guy.
Wasn't it made by members of the KKK or something like that?
Actually, it was made by a record label that makes offensive. They publish offensive albums.
Oh, yeah, that's okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably put all the
I'm pretty sure that they are members of the KKK. It says here that they
or support them, you know. Mm.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they love the KKK. Bloody hell.
Ugh.
And finally,
what could be more? What could be more?
No Mortal Kombat on here, but number 1, and this is a game that I've never heard of. It's called KZ Manager. Oh God, is this what I think it is?
No idea. What?
It was an old game it came out in 1990 for Commodore 64, Amiga, DOS, and Windows.
Huh.
Oh, it is what I think it is.
What?
It's basically Sim Concentration Camp.
No way! Wait, how did you know that from the name?
I'm reading the description of it.
Oh, okay.
Well, KZ made me think of the camps because there was a camp called I can't pronounce it, but
abbreviated KZ.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I'm just reading this. I'm offended by it. Honestly, though, I gotta say this list is a little weird because it seems like they were going for the most offensive games of all time, not necessarily the most controversial. I've never heard of KZ Manager.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly the most controversial game on the list is probably Custer's Revenge.
Yeah, like one that you might have heard the most hubbub about.
Because there was protests, you know. Mm-hmm. It wasn't just people complaining and being offended. All of these are offensive.
Yes.
I think the least offensive one on here is probably Beat 'em and Eat 'em. That's just stupid.
Yeah, it's more just, let's come up with a sex game.
Actually, honestly, they could have left that off, and they could have left probably the Left Behind game off of here and just called it the top 10 most offensive games.
Yeah, actually, that would have made sense.
But it's not a bad list. I was surprised not to see Mortal Kombat because they said controversial. But if you think of it as offensive, it's a great list. So I'm going to give it a 10 out of 12. I certainly wish I hadn't heard of KZ Manager, though.
Yeah, man.
And Baby Shaker and Muslim Massacre.
Yeah, that just put it all over the top. I think I'm going to go even higher to 11 out of 12. Like, it's just a little bit away.
This goes up to 11.
Yes. Yeah, but it goes
and by the way, for anybody out there, neither me nor Jesse will ever accept any requests for any of these games, other than the Atari ones like Custer's. I mean, I've done Custer's Revenge.
So have I.
And I think I do have beat him. I did beat him at Eden, but it's so hard to control with the controller. But none of these others would I ever do.
I don't even want to see what they look like. Well, okay, there was the one that I actually saw, the rape play. I never saw the ethnic cleansing, but I had heard of it.
I saw it because I saw this thing on. It might have been like 60 Minutes or something like that, where they had those two little girls that are like they're like twins, and they sing songs about like black people dying and shit.
They've since actually renounced all that.
Yeah, because they were fucking. They grew up and they
brainwashed.
The parents brainwashed them. So I'm glad that they've renounced all that. Yeah. Good for them. But I just remember seeing that they were playing ethnic cleansing. And I remember the reporter was asking them, like, okay, what is the game about? And they were trying to describe it in a way that wasn't too bad, and then the reporter just got fed up and he's like, it's a game about killing blacks and Jews, right? And they're like, yeah. And you could tell that they were like, they were ashamed, which is good. You should be ashamed. Like, you should be ashamed of playing a game.
No matter what their parents thought, they still knew that this is wrong. This is wrong.
Which is good. It meant they were intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's move on here.
Let's have something a little more cheerful.
As good of a list that was, it did leave a bad taste in my mouth in a few ways. There's a couple of things on there that I hadn't heard of, and I still wish I had.
Well, beat 'em and eat 'em would leave a bad taste in your mouth too, right?
Oh, you would know.
They know.
No. Here's one from top10s.net. A lot of the lists from today are from top10s.net. This is the top 10 worst licensed games.
Oh, dude.
Take your pick. I haven't seen this, but I would expect to see the LJN Rainbow more than once.
Or maybe any show based on a TV, or any show, game based on a TV show.
Two developers that I would expect to see on here are LJN and Ocean.
Oh, poor Ocean.
Yeah. Number 10 is an LJN game.
No.
But it's not an NES game.
No?
It's one of the few... They did survive into the 16-bit era long enough to release a few games for Super NES and for Sega Genesis. This one's called Warlock.
Sounds pretty cool.
Apparently, it was a terrible movie made into a terrible game. So,
I didn't even know about the movie.
Yeah, well, apparently it was really bad, and apparently the game came out a full 4 years after the movie.
Oh.
It says it was riddled with bugs, chock full of broken gameplay mechanics, and generally a miserable time for everybody, just like the movie.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
Those poor people that made Warlock.
What do you expect? Well, LJN and Warlock, they go like peanut butter and jelly, like tomato and basil. Number 9 is for the Atari Jaguar. White Men Can't Jump.
They made a game out of that?
Once again, a game that came out well after the movie. Because if you think of when the Jaguar came out.
Yeah.
I mean, I was in elementary school when White Men Can't Jump, the movie was out. I gotta say, they're taking a comedy about basketball. What better? I mean, if you're gonna make a game out of that, what better platform than the Atari Jaguar? Really, because it's ridiculous. It's like a terrible idea on a terrible console.
And I mean, who doesn't want to play Woody Harrelson shooting hoops with Wesley Snipes? That's it.
Yeah. Number 8. I can't believe they made a game out of this. Dirty Dancing for PC.
Oh, it's probably like a collection of mini games or something, right?
That's exactly what it is.
I had a feeling it was.
I had no idea what it is, but I'm reading the description, and it says it's essentially a collection of mini games set to music that is almost but not quite the music from the movie.
Ugh. Gross.
Like, you could play Bejeweled, but with a Dirty Dancing theme. Yay!
Or just a Dirty Dancing background. Something that doesn't quite sound like Time of Your Life or whatever that song is. Time of My Life.
Number 7. We're moving on here. Number 7, a LucasArts game.
Oh, no.
Star Wars Masters of Terrascasi for PlayStation.
I never really played that one.
Honestly, it's not that bad. It's just a bad idea.
And what is it all about?
It's a fighting game. It's it plays similar to the Soul Blade. It's just it's fucked up that you play as like Luke Skywalker and you're fighting like Chewie or something and your lightsaber will take off like a 16th of their health, It's just weird,
You'd think though a Star Wars based fighting game wouldn't be such a bad idea after all though.
Yeah, but when you stop and think of the weapons involved, it is a bad idea.
Yeah, I guess so, eh?
Yeah. Number 6 is WWE Crush Hour for PlayStation 2. A THQ game, another maker of terrible license games.
Isn't that like the monster truck game or something weird?
It's the WWF monster truck game.
That is a weird as hell idea.
It's like Twisted Metal, except you play as The Rock.
Yeah. Can you smell what The Rock is cooking? Yeah, it's shit.
Yeah. I can't smell what he's cooking, and I don't like it. Yeah. I gotta say though, it's you'd think who the hell would buy that? Who would be stupid enough to think that's a good idea? Wrestling fans.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know. Maybe even wrestling fans are like, dude, monster trucks in my wrestling? I don't know.
Number 5 is Fight Club for Xbox.
I actually remember renting this for the PlayStation 2 with my friend Chris, and we thought, oh, this should be a great game. We beat it in less than half an hour completely, and it was the most boring game. We returned it for something better.
I gotta say, everything about it is wrong.
It looks awful.
They hadn't seen Fight Club, apparently, because it's not really about fighting.
No.
And Fred Durst is in it, automatically making it one of the worst games ever.
I forgot about Fred Durst.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's funny.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it says, unfortunately, Fred Durst can fight back.
Yeah.
Number 4 is the original Ghostbusters game, and they're actually specifically pointing out the Atari version. Which I gotta say, that's a game that's way too complicated for the Atari 2600.
Didn't you do a video on it before? I think I might have.
The NES one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm thinking of the NES. But Atari 26. Wow, I don't know how that would go about.
Yeah. Number 3, from another craptacular developer, Tidus, we have Superman on the Nintendo 64.
Which most people like to call Superman 64, and
That's not the title.
No, but
it's the game where you fly through rings. That's all you do.
And then you have like 3 seconds to pick up a car and throw it or something.
And then you fly through more rings.
And then you pick up more cars.
Yeah.
So it's essentially a very boring and
it's a tutorial that never ends.
Yeah, and it's all through this like isn't it like a cyber world or something that
it's like virtual reality.
Virtual reality, that's a cyber world. Listen.
Yeah.
Like
number 2, let's move on. I don't want to talk about Superman. Number 2 is E.T. and the Atari.
I figured out how to play that game. It isn't as bad as everybody says.
No, but you know what though? It's not as good as it should have been, and they just everything about it was wrong because they made more cartridges than there were Atari systems in circulation.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's not that good of a game. I mean,
no, but you gotta admit, for the amount of time they had, it isn't.
They did have They had 6 weeks to develop it. So
there is worse out there, but that doesn't make up for how not good of game.
Speaking of which, the number 1 worst licensed game of all time, according to TopTens.net, is Jurassic Park: The Trespasser for PC.
I can't say I've ever played it. I've
never even heard of it. It says, the problem was largely one of ambition. Trespasser features a lot of stuff that's standard today, an engine that depicts hundreds of trees and detailed graphics, a complicated physics engine, a sound engine that is realistic and detailed, dinosaurs with emotions and attitudes, and even in advanced animations. The problem was all of it was busted. The physics system made it tough to stack boxes, and two objects could easily become stuck inside each other. Why would you stack boxes? The AI was prone to mood swings so rapid the dinosaur would freeze. The animations would twist the dinosaurs into shapes that would make a yoga instructor grip their mats in white-knuckled fear, and the graphics required a computer so ridiculously advanced most PCs on the market at the time couldn't play it. Instead of a HUD, you looked at a heart tattoo on your player's character's boobs to determine your health level. Yes, seriously. So it broke ground and was incredibly innovative, but it was still terrible. Wow.
Good heavens, man.
I mean, the fact that you got to look at your character's boobs and look at a tattoo to help check your health, right there, they're just like sex cells, so let's just stick that in there, you know?
Yeah, a HUD is much more effective.
There's a reason we have HUDs.
Mm-hmm.
It's so that you don't have to stare at your character's chest and look at their, you know. What do you think? I think this was good because there was a couple of games in here I hadn't heard of, but they just sound bad.
Yeah, it brought to light some of the forgotten, not so much gems.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I think it was a good list.
I don't know. I think I'll give it an 8 out of 10. I thought it was just kind of... it was good. It was great. It was good.
Yes.
It was great.
From the list masters over at Cracked.com, we have... the 10 most irritatingly impossible old-school video games.
Ooh, irritatingly impossible. Let's see if we've beaten any of these, then.
So, basically, they're talking about Nintendo hard.
Okay, yeah. Nintendo difficult.
Yeah. Number 10, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Let's face it, very few people have legitimately beat it.
Yeah, even I have, I'd get to Mike Tyson and that's it. You know,
yeah, he's tough.
He's
tough.
Like three hits down, and you're done.
I've beaten it with save states, but not legitimately.
No. Yeah. So that's rough, man.
Yeah. Number 9, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the NES. That was a tough game.
That is extremely tough. I've never beaten that one either. I've gotten pretty far, but
I've gotten to the 3rd or 4th level, but that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
There's 7 of them, so you know.
Oh yeah, I've watched people go.
You know what the hard everybody talks about the dam level as being a hard part, and they even go into detail about the dam level. The hardest part in the whole game, though, if you got that far, was finding the Technodrome.
Yeah, because you could what do you got to go down? It was different holes.
Yeah, and it was randomly placed.
Yeah.
So it was never in the same place twice, so you couldn't just know where it is, and then you had to fight it, which is by the time you find it, you got no health left.
You have to fight a giant Technodrome. Yeah, not exactly the easiest thing.
Yeah. So, number 8 is the original Mega Man, although they have screenshots from Mega Man 2.
Well,
it says Mega Man, but I'm clearly looking at Mega Man fighting Metal Man, which, stop me if I'm on crack or if I've gone into an alternate dimension, but that was in the second game.
Yes, you're correct. But I remember at least when I was a kid, the most difficult one for me definitely was the first one.
The reasoning, though, is because the controls aren't that good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Number 7 is Solomon's Key, another game that I don't think anybody has beaten legitimately.
Oh, which one's that one again? Sounds familiar.
That's that puzzle game where you create blocks and you got to get the key in each level, and there's 1 million levels.
Oh, was it one of the earlier NES titles?
Yeah, sort of. You saw that game that I did recently, Fire and Ice?
Yeah, I like that one.
That was the sequel.
Oh, well, it must be a pretty fun game then, if it's kind of based on it.
It is fun, but it gets brutal after a while. Another thing is if you got to the end of Solomon's Key, but you didn't get all the secrets, you would get the bad ending.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. So you had to find all the secrets as well.
Yeah. Number 6, they're talking about Empire Strikes Back on the NES.
Empire?
And They compare it to the Super NES version, which was a really good game.
Yeah.
But the NES one was just like impossible, difficult, and crappy.
I never played the NES, but I did play all the Super Star Wars games, and they were pretty good.
The NES one is bad.
Oh, no.
It's bad, yeah.
That sucks.
Number five, Ninja Gaiden.
Oh my god, I can only get so far before I had to start cheating save states.
I have one phrase that will just strike fear into the hearts of any NES fan. Level 6-2.
Oh, good God.
I never passed level 6-2.
Almost made me cry.
You know, I gotta be honest though, if you're gonna include any of the original NES Ninja Gaiden games, I would actually say Ninja Gaiden 3 is the toughest. Because
Ship of Doom?
that is the... Yeah, Ship of Doom is the toughest because you have limited continues.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You couldn't just keep trying. Like in Ninja Gaiden 1 and 2, you could just keep trying until you get it. Or have a psychotic episode, whichever comes first.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're at the end of Ninja Gaiden 3 and you lose your last life and you have no continues, you go back to the beginning.
The very beginning.
Yeah.
No password system.
So, exactly. Number 4 is Ghosts and Goblins.
Oh, man, this is tough. Oh, the Ghosts and Goblins series, man.
That's a series in general that's just designed to be tough, though. I mean, people got to remember, even though it's a platformer, you know, it was an arcade game. And they are designed to do one thing, to make you lose so you put more quarters into it.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. So adapting that to like an NES game or whatever, Genesis or whatever, it can be frustrating.
Yeah, but man, did they ever make them hard. You think turning an arcade game into a console game, they might have eased up on the difficulty, but nah, man, not at all.
Yeah, exactly. Number 3 is Friday the 13th on the NES. I think this one was hard mainly due to the fact that it was confusing and the controls were bad.
Mm-hmm. Like, I remember playing it and just walking around killing things, not knowing what I'm supposed to do. Like, save the kids. But Jason's health bar was so huge.
You know what the crazy thing about it is that if you know what you're doing, you can beat it very quickly.
Yeah, I've actually seen somebody beat it in less than half an hour.
If you just go around and just don't worry about Jason, you know, go around and light all the fireplaces, get the torch, and then fight Jason. The torch does like a ridiculous amount of damage to him, and then when he runs off the screen, if you have a fast character who chase him, you can engage him in a second battle right there.
You can continually engage him if you're fast enough.
Yeah, and just like beat him 3 times in a row, and game over, you win.
Or do you really? You know, the ending has a stupid cliffhanger.
But, like, who would really want to do that? The game is terrible.
Yeah.
Number 2 is Contra. Of course, playing it legit is incredibly difficult.
Without the 30 lives code.
Yes. Did you actually see... You just played through Contra recently, and you played it with the 30 lives code. And you had to continue.
I did have to continue only once, but I did have to. So you can imagine how I would have done otherwise.
Did you see the recent AVGN thing? It wasn't like a full AVGN video, but it was him talking about his memories of playing Contra and the first time he ever beat it.
No, I haven't seen that.
It was just put on a site like a few days ago. I think it was yesterday actually. And he was saying, you know, whenever people would come over and they want to play Contra, they'd say, "Oh wait, you forgot to put in the code, right?" But he says he doesn't understand why, and couldn't really tell you why. But whenever he played on his own, he never used the code. So because he played it legit, he wound up getting really good at it.
Nice.
Because you have to be. He said he always felt that everybody else was better at games than him, but he got really good at Contra because he never used the 30 lives code. So he actually beat it legitimately.
Way to go, AVGN.
But what's crazy though is that they must have been his friends must have been terrible because they all used the 30 lives code and they hadn't beat it.
Oh wow.
So, you know, like what the hell, right?
So that was like his one game he could hold over them.
Exactly. Yeah. Number 1, and I gotta agree with this fully. If you've beaten this without save states, you're full of shit. You haven't beaten it without save states. Battletoads.
Oh, I can't get past the flying motorbike things.
Really? Everybody talks about that. I don't think that's the hardest part of the game, though.
It is for me because I can't see them coming.
Oh, that's right, because your eyes, but
It's like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
it gets so much harder than that.
Oh, I've seen the rest of the game, and I've only seen people use save states.
Well, yeah. And it's literally impossible to beat it with 2 characters without using a continue. Because there's actually a stage where you're being chased by this, like, purple blob thing.
Yeah.
And player 2 spawns on top of it, and you just die instantly.
Mm-hmm. And if one of the players loses all their lives...
Yeah, exactly. So you got to beat that stage with one person and then have the second person join in after that.
Yeah.
But, you know what's crazy about that is that, people would think, well, how come they didn't find that in testing? Clearly, in testing, nobody got that far in co-op. It's so much harder with 2 people because you can hit each other.
Yeah, there's a friendly fire, even though it's not all that friendly.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, great list, though.
Mm-hmm. Definitely all very
I'm gonna give it the full 10 out of 10. I think that there was nothing that I particularly think belongs on there. I mean, there's games like Avidox or Silver Surfer, but really, almost all of these games are classics, and they're all incredibly hard. So I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10.
I think I'm inclined to agree, actually. A lot of these games are enjoyable, and yet still very hard.
And that's why I call them the list masters of crap, because their lists are always awesome.
Mm-hmm.
They usually don't do, like scalable lists like that. So it's kind of interesting to be able to do one.
Yeah, they'll just do like, these are 5 things or 10 things.
Yeah, exactly. The rest of our lists are all from top10s.net, and most of them are related to video games. We have 1 or 2 that are not, and here's one that is not. And this was submitted by somebody, although actually I was already planning on doing this one, so that works out.
Oh, great.
And this is very interesting. It's called Top 10 lists that no one should write anymore.
I like the sound of this. It's very meta.
These are the top 10 lists that the people at top10s.net are sick of. So here we have number 10 is top 10 best guitar solos. I haven't seen a lot of those, but I can imagine that it would get irritating because it's so subjective. Because it's like, do you like the really blistering fast solos, or do you like the more emotional ones, or so.
Do you like something more technical or something wailing?
Yeah. Nobody's going to really agree. You know what I mean?
Or you might, or what if it's the opposite? What if you just see a lot of the same? It's like, okay, we've seen this before. We've seen the same list from the same kind of person.
Yeah, I mean. Exactly. So I can see that.
Yeah.
Number 9 is similar, best rock songs. Those always irritate me.
Everybody's got an opinion.
Those always irritate me because they're always way off.
But
they're always way off.
Like metal websites are going to have metal, like all metal songs, and
well, they're talking about rock.
Contemporary classical are going to have all contemporary classical.
Yeah, but they're talking about rock in particular. Number 8 is list of the top 10 greatest presidents.
Really?
And a lot of people do these lists, and I mean, they're all the same.
Huh.
I mean, you get the 4 guys from Mount Rushmore. Usually FDR gets thrown in there. Sometimes JFK. I mean, nobody's gonna, like they said, show us any list that claims Millard Fillmore was one of our top 5 or 10 presidents, and we'll show you a random angry commentator who read this, went to his blog, and vomited up a fake list I just made to look dumb. Number 7, a lot of music ones on here. Best bands. Once again, that's always going to be a matter of opinion.
Very subjective sounding.
So, yeah, I can see that would get annoying after a while.
But even if you're trying to be objective, how would you rate it? There's so many, right?
Exactly that.
You can't.
I mean, you could do your top 10 favorites, but that's a different beast,
Or you'd have to be more specific to be objective.
Like top 10 rock bands from the 1960s or whatever. It would have to be very specific like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get it.
Number 6, best TV shows.
I don't know. I wouldn't have a problem.
I get what they're saying here. I get what they're saying there. It's like they're all the same, The Simpsons is always number 1, and stop. We get it,
Basically, Simpsons is going to be number 1. Moving on.
Yeah, exactly. Number 5 is top conspiracy theories. I've never seen a list of conspiracy theories.
I think I would be fascinated by a list of
I think so, too.
Maybe
they get a lot of them and they're sick of them.
Yeah, maybe this is like directed at specifically the top tens .com or whatever it is.
Yeah, .net actually.
.net.
Yeah. It's top tens with a Z.
Tens.
Yeah. Number 4, top 10 best scary movies.
What's your favorite scary movie?
I disagree with this because I love those lists, and their reasoning for saying this seems that the person who wrote this list just doesn't like horror movies.
Oh, really?
Well, no one's forcing you to read lists of horror movies then if you don't like them.
Yeah, if you see a list that... unless they do, like I said before, fall into the same category of they're always going to have like the same movies on there.
But this guy just clearly doesn't like horror movies.
Well, that is unfortunate.
Yeah. Number 3 is worst sequels. I don't know. I like those lists.
Yeah, I like the top worst because it's just people put more emotion into those ones, right?
Exactly that.
And so many funny bad sequels out there.
Yeah. Number 2, best cartoon characters. I thought that, the definitive list of best cartoon characters was top 50 animated characters of all time according to TV Guide, which I thought nailed it.
Who did they make number 1?
Homer Simpson.
Homer Simpson. They didn't go Bart Simpson.
Homer's the more developed character, although they're developing Bart more on the show now. But back when that list was published, Homer was the more developed character.
Was Bugs Bunny? Bugs Bunny must have been in top 10. Right?
Bugs Bunny was number 2.
Yeah.
Number 3, I think, was like Eric Cartman.
Awesome.
So I mean, the whole list made sense to me.
Okay,
so.
that sounds good.
And number 1, okay, all right, I get what they're saying here because this is subjective, but this is a list I can't ever get sick of. Top 10 hottest girls. How could you get sick of those lists?
Especially if they all include pictures, and if they're just pictures.
Yeah, if they have pictures, then they're automatically awesome.
I don't know.
I mean, unless the person has very strange taste.
Yeah, to be honest, I think I would get kind of bored. Like, oh, chick. It's not like I'm looking for a secret dude or anything like that. It's more like,
but who doesn't like discussing hot chicks and how hot they are in relation to other hot chicks?
The hottitude of this chick is inversely proportionate to the last hot chick.
I don't know. I think that I like this list, but I think the top ones were all way off. Like, I like hottest girls list. I like best cartoon characters list. I like worst sequels list, and I like best scary movies list. So it's top 4. And I would like to see conspiracy theories list. So that's half of the list that I think is way off. The other half I understand. So I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10.
The list is subjective.
It's not. I'm going to say 5 out of 10, right down the middle.
I don't know. I wouldn't mind reading a lot of those lists. So I think I'm going to go.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I'm actually going to be not very kind. Go 3 out of 10. I do like a lot of those lists.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
I do like reading those top 10s. It's just the hot girls one. I like hot girls, but
bring them on. Yeah, who doesn't? Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Moving on. Okay, we're going back to video games here.
Excellent.
From top10s.net, we have the top 10 most baffling pieces of video game merchandise.
Oh, like the weird stuff that they've brought out before. Okay.
Like just things that are tie-ins to video games that just make you say, what?
Like a Mario vibrator or something like that.
Oh, God, I hope that's not on here. Is that a thing? Oh, it probably is.
I don't know, probably.
I'll ask Julie.
Yeah.
Number 10, we have Resident Evil 4 Aftershave.
Okay, yeah, that is pretty weird.
To promote the release of Resident Evil 4, its developer created Leon's Collection, a series of products designed with the sensibilities of the game's main character in mind. This included sunglasses, a jacket like the one he wears in the game, and aftershave, because fans just won't want to look like a character unless they want to shave like him, too.
So you two can smell like rotting flesh of the dead.
What's worse is that it looks like a T-virus canister.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, we're going to go with the splattered monster brains. That is weird. That is strange.
Yeah, that's messed up.
Number 9 are the custom Berettas for Stranglehold.
Ugh.
And now this is interesting because Stranglehold was a piece of shit.
Okay.
And apparently these guns are really, really well crafted, and it's like they put more thought into the guns than they did the game.
Maybe they made the game specifically to release the guns.
But what's crazy is that even though they look real, they're not guns. They're cigarette lighters. So imagine you're walking around and you gotta light your cigarette or whatever, your joint or whatever, and you pull out a very realistic looking handgun in public and then put it to your mouth, and everybody starts like, no, don't do it.
You're gonna get shot.
Well, I mean, smoking is sort of a form of suicide, but it takes longer.
Yeah, it's a very long process. You're just speeding it up by bringing out a gun lighter.
Exactly. So, wow. Yeah. Number 8 is a...
Dead or alive panties.
Really? Really? Oh, my God, really? All right, it's not a Mario dildo, but...
Oh, no.
It's kind of close. It is a Mario thing, and it can be used as a masturbation tool for women, so...
Is it a douche?
No. Women don't masturbate with douche. They clean their pussies out with douche. It's a Super Mario Brothers shower head.
Uh-oh.
One of those handheld shower heads.
Oh.
And basically it looks like a pipe, and then like Mario and Luigi are hanging on to it.
Oh, well, that's kind of
so
cute.
if you're female, horny, and you love men with mustaches, this is the product for you.
You like feeling the tickle down there?
Listen to what they say, though. We say, we don't care how much your kid loves Mario. He shouldn't be naked with a pair of mustached Italian plumbers.
No kidding, eh?
Yeah. Number 7 is a Super Mario Brothers long stitch picture kit.
What?
It's one of those like sampler things, like you have to stitch it, and yeah. It's like if you're in that very tiny Venn diagram at like 1 pixel between the circles of video games and cross stitching.
Okay. Oh, that's
yeah. And it's like not even an interesting picture. It's like a picture of Peach just like walking through the woods.
I'm already bored.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And it's a terrible drawing.
Ugh.
Number 6 is, and I've heard of this one. This is not actually related to any specific game. It's a series of products called Gamer Grub. Have you seen this? It's like snack food. It's basically like fucking mushed up Chex Mix in a bag, and it's like, boost your game.
Really? Is this for like Halo players or something?
I think it is. It's like
Gamer Fuel.
Grub,
that
Gamer Grub is a performance snack that is packed with essential vitamins and neurotransmitters to keep you focused and quick, otherwise known as trail mix.
Yeah, trail mix.
Yeah, I mean, it just looks like a bunch of peanuts and cheese doodles and crackers all mushed up.
But jacked up the price and put extreme packaging.
Pizza flavor. It does look like that, too. Number 5, we have the Mass Effect 2 Commander Shepard hoodie.
All right.
Okay, I gotta say something about this. My friend Joey, you know Joey, of course.
Yeah.
He actually owns a Mass Effect sweatshirt, a hoodie.
Oh.
And he says the best thing about it is that it's not douchey. It doesn't like it unless somebody knows the game, they're not going to know what it is. It just looks like a regular hoodie.
So what makes it Mass Effect-y?
I think it has like a logo on it or something. You know, it's tasteful.
Okay.
But this, I'm going to send you a picture of this, Jesse. You have to see this. This is, it looks like a Halloween costume.
Okay.
If you walk around wearing this, you're a dick.
Oh, jeez, that is a douchey, goofy thing to wear. Full zip,
exactly.
No less.
Yeah, right up the hood. So you could disguise, this is what they say, so you could protect your head on windy days, disguise your identity when you rob a bank, or most likely hide your shame.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
And guess how much it costs?
$200.
Wow, you went over there. It's actually $88, which is still way, way too much.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Oh, wow. Number 4 is No More Heroes 2 lingerie.
I guess I could expect that from Suda51. Like, yeah, sure, let's, to promote our product, let's throw some lingerie out there.
Well, you know what, though? It's not even, like, sexy lingerie. It just doesn't look that good.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate.
Like, like, the most important thing about lingerie, if you want it to be sexy, I'm sending you a picture now,
okay.
is, it's got to be revealing.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, these just look like Halloween costumes to me. So...
Yeah, actually, they do just kind of look like
and let's
weird
face it,
Halloween costumes.
Unless you look like those ladies, unless your girlfriend's really hot, it's not going to work out too well.
Even then, you're not going to pull it off. Of course, you'd want to have it pulled off anyway.
Exactly. Number 3 is the... Well, she could pull on it, but not off.
Oh, yeah.
Number 3 is the World of Warcraft beer stein.
Well, I bet they sell tons of World of Warcraft.
You know what, though? And this is what they say, and I agree with it. They say World of Warcraft fans were so obsessive, they'd buy a self-castration kit if it came in Alliance and Horde variants.
Yeah, exactly.
This just does look like a... It does look like a particularly crappy beer stein, though.
Oh, that sucks.
I'm gonna send you a picture of it. It just looks like crap.
Like I said, World of Warcraft.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's just a beer stein with a picture on it. They look like a bunch of over stylized Pokemon.
There you go.
There's a Gyarados in the background.
At number 2, we have the Manhunt Pigsy figurine.
Pigsy figurine?
Pigsy is apparently a big fat guy with a chainsaw and a mask made from a dead pig head.
Ugh.
He's apparently a villain in the game.
So you can buy a figurine of some weird fat sicko dude.
I'm gonna show you a picture of this just because I want to hear your reaction. There it is.
Okay, clickety clack. Oh man, tits.
Honestly, how much of a douche do you have to have that displayed in your house?
Yeah, I think this is something.
And this was a this was a limited edition. There was only 500 of them.
I mean, it looks neat, but this isn't something I would display to look at how awesome I am. Look at what I have.
Are you ready for number 1?
Totally.
Dead or Alive Kasumi Squishy Pillow.
I thought there would be some Dead or Alive stuff on here. Earlier I said Dead or Alive panties, but Squishy Pillow?
It's a pillow with boobs. It's a boob pillow.
Oh, tell me there's a picture of that.
Yes, there is. You really can't see from the picture how the boobs actually come off of it, but there you go.
Squishy pillow. Dirty pillows.
Dirty pillows. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it's a picture of her and alright, yeah.
Excitement.
Yeah.
I think honestly anybody who buys that should be put on some sort of database.
Yeah. Pervert database.
Just saying. Yeah.
Or no, just call it the Dead or Alive database.
And now, okay, how are we going to rate this? These were all very strange.
Yeah.
And I think I got to give it a 10 because...
Strange and douchey.
Yeah, all of these were terrible, terrible things that nobody should be caught buying. They are baffling. I don't understand how these things came to be. I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10.
Mm-hmm. Although, the aftershave would come in handy.
But come on, dude.
For fighting the zombie horde. I don't know, shove it in their eyes or something. 9 out of 10.
You just think of an excuse to give it a 9.
Yes.
Moving on. We have the top 10 Mario games.
Whoa, this is gonna be interesting.
Yeah. What is your favorite Mario game? What would you call the best Mario game of all time?
Hotel Mario.
Okay, give me an answer that doesn't make me want to punch you.
I don't know. That's tough. What's the Mario game that I play the most often? I don't know. Mario Galaxy 2 it's very good. I keep going back to that one.
I would honestly say that my personal favorite and the best of the series is either Mario Galaxy 1 or 2. I couldn't decide off the top of my head right now which one's better. but what do I expect to see something more like Super Mario 3 on the top of the list?
Yeah, Mario 3, sold so many, and, well, that Super Mario 3D Land coming out is kind of like an homage to number 3, sort of.
Yeah, so let's go. Number 10 is Donkey Kong, the original Donkey Kong, the game that Mario first appeared in.
Yeah, Jumpman, Mario.
And it is a good game.
It is a good game. It's very fun.
Number 9 is Super Mario Land, the very first handheld Game Boy game. It's okay, but I don't really see it being top 10 material. So
honestly, one of my favorite Game Boy games, like original Game Boy games. I played this one a lot simply because the end credits music.
Oh, yeah, it was a great song.
Loved to death.
No, but to be honest, though, the sequels are better. I mean,
I don't know. I kept going back to the first one, I think, just because I played it the most.
Yeah. Number 8 is... Oh, God, are you kidding me? This is best Mario games, right?
Oh.
It just says top 10 Mario. It just says top 10 Mario games. Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games.
No.
No. No.
I'm sorry.
It's a big,
top 10s.
Fat sack of no.
Thanks for playing top 10s, but I think you win the booby prize on this one.
I can't believe that not only does that game exist, that it's got a sequel and another sequel coming out.
The London one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 7, Super Mario Land 2, 6 Golden Coins. A great game. I played the hell out of it. Still don't know if it's top 10 material, but at least it's better than Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games.
Yeah.
Number 6, we have Super Mario Bros. 2, the one that's based on Doki Doki Panic.
Mm-hmm.
Great game. A lot of people complain about it because it's different, but I think it's great.
I think it's different in a good way. It's something refreshing. And then, you go back to Mario 3, which kind of brought back the platforming everybody else knew.
Yep. Number 5 is the original Super Mario Brothers. Can't go wrong with that. It's classic.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's played it. Everybody's gone to Minus, or everybody who knows has gone to Minus World. Everybody's taken the warps. Everybody's done everything with that game.
I can never get the Minus World to work for me. No, I can't get it to work.
Oh, well.
Number 4 is Super Mario Brothers 3.
Number 4, you say?
Yes.
Oh.
I'm pleased because I think it's a great game, but people tend to overrate it a bit. So
maybe Super Mario World 2 will be will be high on the list then.
Yoshi's Island, that would be great to be on here. Let's see. Number 3 is Super Mario 64. Good game.
Certainly amongst the better Mario platformers.
Yeah. Number 2 is Super Mario World.
Number 2, the original. A lot of people like the first one, not so much the second one, though.
The second, well, I don't think they played it because it came out later in the Super NES's lifespan, but you're a douche if you played it and you don't like it, you're a douche.
They should go back and play it, seriously.
Number 1. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Because it's going to make you go, ah.
Okay.
This is certainly not a bad game.
I'm sitting down.
It's a great game, but I heavily contest its inclusion on this list.
I have a water for spit take ready.
And I heavily dispute it being number 1.
Okay.
Super Mario Kart.
What? Really?
Not Galaxy.
No.
Not Yoshi's Island.
Not even Mario Kart 64, which you liked for a long time. Or the DS.
Not even any of the superior sequels to Super Mario Kart.
Mm-hmm.
But Super Mario Kart.
Weird.
Not Super Mario. If you could have put... First of all, it's a spin-off. But if you could have put the spin-offs on here, what about Paper Mario? What about Mario RPG? What about fucking, like, Mario Tennis? That was better. I mean, come on, really?
Mm-hmm. Even Mario Golf.
Oh, that was a great game.
Yeah.
But really? The number 1 best Mario game ever? I call shenanigans on this
I am
list.
disappointed. Top 10s.
I'm going to give it a 2. I'm going to give it a 2.
I don't know. I think I can't damn the list just because of that one, but I think I'm going to go a little.
It had
high.
Mario and Sonic on the Olympic Games on it.
Well, I don't know. I think I'm going to be a little more lenient with a 3, which isn't to say it's
well. That's not exactly a good score.
But I'm going to be a little kinder. Not much kinder though.
Yeah. Here is a list that's very near and dear to both our hearts. It's a genre that we both enjoy quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Top 10 Japanese-style RPGs.
Oh, excellent. Up our alleys.
Haven't looked at this, but I'm excited. Let's see. Number 10, Dragon Quest III.
One of the Dragon Quest games I haven't actually played. I played the Dragon Warrior 1 and 2 on the NES, but never got to the third one.
There's a lot wrong with that. First of all, I seriously hope if they're going to put 3 on here that it's not the only Dragon Quest on the list.
Well, wouldn't that be quite a kick in the pants?
That would be. And secondly, they're specifically saying the NES version.
Oh.
Not the vastly superior Game Boy Color one.
How was the color one superior? Like, did a better translation or something?
Better translation. It had an extra character class. It had extra dialogue. The enemies were animated. It was just better.
Okay.
It was also on the Super NES, but only in Japan.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Number 9 is Earthbound.
Yay!
Earthbound sucks. Let's move on.
No, it's actually pretty fun.
It sucks.
To all the Earthbound fans out there, I like it too. Don't worry about it.
Sucks. Terrible.
You can go suck a dick.
Number 8, Chrono Trigger.
There we go. Something
at number 8.
Well, oh yeah, no, it's only number 8.
At number 8,
Japanese style RPG.
They are saying that Chrono Trigger is marginally better than Earthbound. And considering what's next on the list, I'm getting pissed off.
Well, to be fair, we haven't seen what the rest of the list is. You never know.
Well, I'm looking at the next one, and I'm not happy about it. They're essentially saying that everything else on here is better than Chrono Trigger.
There's very little better than Chrono Trigger.
Yeah,
for
there's a few. Stuff. There's a few, but I don't know how many are going to be on this list. Number 7 is Pokemon, the original red and blue Pokemon.
Ooh, again.
Now, honestly, I think basically if you played them you played them all. If you're going to pick one Pokemon game, why not just pick whatever the most recent is? Because don't they just get better?
Yeah, what is it?
Like, don't they just add Black and... Yeah, that was the most recent one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. All right, number 6 is Final Fantasy VII.
It's good.
What? And they have a picture of the box of the PC version.
Isn't that the more complete, so to speak, version?
No, you're thinking of the international one.
Oh, okay.
I just, I hope it's not the only Final Fantasy on here.
Yeah, because I thought it was good, but it wasn't great. But it was good.
I think it is great, but it's not the best in the series.
No, of course not. But a lot of people think that way, though. A lot of people.
Moving on. Number 5 is Grandia.
Never played that or the sequel.
I personally think you would. I would say the sequels are better, but hey, whatever. Grandia. Okay, Grandia.
All right, fair enough.
It's not better than Chrono Trigger, but okay.
Yeah.
Number 4 is Suikoden 2. There's been 5 Suikoden games. I haven't actually played any of them, so I can't really comment on them.
Mm-hmm. But you did play the Grandia game before?
I have played Grandia.
Oh, okay.
It's a good game.
All right, well, I never played the Suikoden games.
Okay, now I'm pissed off.
Oh.
I'm looking.
I can't wait to hear what it is.
All right, let me see what number 2 and number 1 are. Okay,
hey, don't spoil it for yourself.
No, I did, because this is. I'm ready to punch a baby in the dick.
You heard it here first, folks.
This makes me want to punch a baby in the dick. This is a big fat sack of no. Number 3 is Xenogears.
Well,
a game that I fucking hate.
You go on record as hating it.
It's worse than Earthbound.
Come on, man. Cut it some slack.
I hate Xenogears.
Now, I've only played Xenogears a little bit, and I can't play it that much because it makes... this is going to sound bad, but it makes my eyes hurt. Because, when you...
Well, actually,
you could...
Those giant those giant pixels, that's the way the game actually looks, though.
Yeah, but like when I spin around, it gives me a headache.
Yeah. Number 2 is Kingdom Hearts 2. Yeah, it's a good game.
It is really good, but better than
Chrono Trigger. And number 1, best JRPG according to... Who wrote this list?
Top 10s?
I'm trying to see if they have a name on it.
Mm.
No, they don't. Oh, no, here we go. Nathaniel Hood wrote this.
Okay.
Nathaniel Hood wrote this. He is an idiot.
Let's see what he put for number 1, man. What did he do?
I just wanted to say that he's an idiot.
Okay.
I'm not saying that number 1's a bad game. I just think the whole list is a bunch of bullshit.
So what is number 1?
Number 1 is Shin Megami Tensei Persona 3 on PlayStation 2.
Man, that's a series I still want to get into because everyone says Persona Persona that.
It's a good series. It's a good
series. The whole Mega 10 universe is apparently great.
You know, the thing is, though, like, what you get to Persona 4, which is a great, great game, one of the last amazing PlayStation 2 games to come out. And then I hope you're satisfied because 5 never came out in America.
Oh, not good.
One of those many great RPGs for the Wii that was never localized.
Oh, for the Wii, really?
There's a lot of great Wii games that have never been localized, especially RPGs.
Oh, that sucks. But wow, Persona 3 best JRPG?
Maybe.
I don't know. People do rave about it.
Okay, so apparently Dragon Quest III is better than all the rest. Final Fantasy VII is the best Final Fantasy. Apparently Earthbound and Xenogears are tolerable. Pokemon, I guess it was all downhill from the beginning, and yeah.
And Persona 3, number 1.
There's nothing positive I can say about this list. And I don't agree with anything. Not a single thing. I agree with Chrono Trigger being on the list, but at number 8 I do not.
You think it'd be better than the rest of them?
It's the best game on this list.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Of all the ones that I've actually played, I would say it deserves to be at the top.
There's a lot on here that I think should be on here, but in the wrong place, and a lot that I just don't think should be on here.
No Dragon Quest VIII for you there.
Yeah.
And no Final Fantasy VI. Me sad.
No 4 either.
4. Man.
1 out of 10. I can't say a single nice thing about this list. You'll probably give it a little higher because you actually like Earthbound.
I do like Earthbound, and I could see it being like 8 or 9 on someone's list. Like it's good, but there's so much better. So I don't know. I think I might I'll be a little lenient, and people do like Persona 3, so I'm going to say 4 out of 10. Still not.
That's extremely lenient.
Still not down the middle, but
yeah.
I'm
just curious to see what other list this guy has written. Let me see.
Oh, man.
I'm just curious. Let's see. Top 10 female directors, top 10 controversial pieces of music.
A
lot of this is boring. Top 10 comics and graphic novels by Alan Moore. I actually want to take a look at that because I'm a big Alan Moore fan.
I'm not. I don't really know, but yeah.
Top 10 most important Green Lantern comics. That's another thing. Okay, this guy may redeem himself. I was going to look at these really quick.
Or he could just infuriate you even more.
The Green Lantern list is okay. It's not terrible. Just looking at the Alan Moore list. Let's see. Feature Vendetta, Ballad of Halo Jones, Swamp Thing,
Thing.
Watchmen. Okay, right. He loses the game. Watchmen is number 6.
You think it's number 1?
Definitely. Okay, what does he put above Watchmen? Let's see. From Hell, Supreme, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, Tom Strong, and number 1 is Promethea. Now he loses the game.
Well, this is just his list.
Yeah, he's an idiot, and it's an idiot's list.
It's a matter of opinion, man.
You know what? Every list is somebody's list. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. That's why we're the list critics.
That's true. I guess I'm being awfully lenient in this episode.
You're being yeah, you are. You're being too nice. All right, let's move on to the next one before I throw up in my mouth. This is a non-video game list. This is a traditional board game list.
Ooh.
If you like board games. Who doesn't like a good board game?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're an asshole if you don't like to play a good board game every once in a while. These are the top 10 board games for ruining friendships.
I was just about to say, unless you're one of those people who turns into an asshole every time you play a board game.
And these are the ones that turn the most people into assholes.
Or it brings out the secret asshole within them.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Number 10, Scrabble.
I bet they're referring to the people who are always challenging you.
I don't know. I love playing Scrabble with people. I think everybody that I play Scrabble with... you know what? My friend Marielle, I don't enjoy playing Scrabble with her because she takes 10 years to do it. But
I like playing Scrabble with my grandma. She's actually pretty good.
There you go.
Yeah.
Number 9 is Twister.
I don't know. I have fun playing this one, especially with drinks.
I think you have to be drunk to play Twister. Let's face it. If you play Twister... and you're sober, there's something wrong with you.
Mm-hmm.
And they bring up a good point here. Everybody's going to think the guy who suggests playing Twister, everybody's going to think he's a creep.
Yeah, he just wants to, I don't know, accidentally get boobage feel or something like that.
Exactly, yeah. Number 8 is Battleship.
I don't know. I think Battleship's okay.
Well, I love Battleship, but let me see what they say about it. This is what they say. Here's how a typical game of Battleship plays out. You spend an eternity planning the perfect placement of your armada while your friend plunks down in 5 seconds. All of your friends' stupid random guesses hit your ships. Well, they're all going to be random guesses. While each and every one of your carefully calculated shots... you can't carefully calculate anything. You don't know what's going on.
I guess maybe maybe in your mind you're thinking, I'm a strategist, you know?
Yeah.
I'm going to the places with the maximum availability of striking.
Yeah. Let's see what... While you have no proof, you just know your friend is lying, your entire fleet is sunk, and only after admitting defeat do you look at your friend's board and realize you were hitting all along. He was just too dumb to read the grid properly.
That's true. I guess
I don't know.
There's a little bit of trust involved.
Honestly though, this goes for any board game. Don't play them with cheaters and idiots.
Mm-hmm.
You could put any game in there. I don't know. I like Battleship. Let's move on. Number 7 is Parcheesi. I've never played Parcheesi in my life, and I don't think I ever will.
Which one is this again? Remind me. If I don't know what it is, then I haven't played it.
It's from India, and it's like... I don't understand it personally, because I've never played it, so I don't know the rules or anything.
Okay.
So, I don't know anything about it.
That game.
Number 6 is Pictionary. Really?
I don't know. I used to have
I guess
Pictionary.
it could. I guess if you know what though, if you play it, the proper way with teams.
Yeah.
I guess it can lead to arguments like, "How could you not know that? We're losing because of you. That was obvious."
Yeah.
So I guess that is one of those things. Number 5 is Mastermind, another game that I have no concept of whatsoever.
I think I've seen like a box for it in one of those Mrs. Tiggywinkle stores, but.
Number 4 is The Settlers of Catan.
Oh, I was actually pretty good at this when I played it.
Honestly, though, the person that brings that, it's like, you asshole. What's the matter? You don't have Monopoly? You know what I mean? Don't you have a fun board game? Come on.
It was just kind of fun that these people...
Did your mother buy that for you because she hates you?
No, it was actually in like a game store.
I'm not asking you. That's what I would ask people.
Yeah, but
if I was at somebody's house and I was like, "Hey, let's play a board game," and they're like, "How about we play Settlers of Catan?" I'd be like, "How about no?" No.
But
seriously,
I was taught the game in like 10 minutes how to play Settlers of Catan, and I thought, ugh, looks boring. And then they taught me how to play it, and I won like a couple games right after.
Well, yeah, that'll make anybody feel good about it.
Yeah.
But I bet they were all pissed on beginner's luck.
That's what they kept saying, but I'm like, I don't know. It's just quite pretty. Of course, it's fun because I was winning. But
Number 3 is Monopoly, and let's face it, who hasn't flipped a Monopoly board in their life in a fit of rage?
I've been one of those people.
So it's an amazing board. It's probably the best board game of all time.
It still holds up after all these years.
Unless you count chess or whatever. But honestly, it does cause a lot of fights. So there you go.
Mm-hmm. Some people hiding money, people getting frustrated. Like, you can't put 10 houses on one place.
Yeah. Well, there's no point to it. Plus, I mean, how many people have actually finished a game of Monopoly?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I've actually finished a couple where everybody else has been.
I have.
Yeah.
I have, but never like with a bunch of people. Like if I play against my sister, I could usually wipe her out in about an hour or so.
Yeah, because you can see the tide, the wind's blowing one way eventually.
Yeah. Number 2 is Risk. Yeah. I mean that's an argument one right there. You remember the Seinfeld episode?
Yes, where they were carrying the board around.
I have nothing. You have Ukraine. Ukraine is weak, and then there's that Ukraine. You go, Ukraine is not weak.
Yes, and he flips the board and no.
Yeah. Number 1 is a game I've never heard of. It's called Diplomacy.
Oh no.
Yeah.
What is this?
This is what they say. They say Risk may lead to your friend stabbing you in the back, but diplomacy actually encourages it.
Oh.
It's impossible to win without betraying someone, and the larger the web of lies you can spin, the more successful you'll be. I could see how that would cause some arguments.
Ooh, but that sounds interesting, actually.
It says there is 0 random chance. It's all strategy.
Ooh.
Yeah, that could cause some arguments.
That sounds fascinating, though. I'm intrigued.
It does sound good. I think this is a good list. There's a couple of games in here that I haven't played, like Parcheesi and Mastermind. And personally, I don't think Scrabble is an argument causer, but
I could see how it could cause arguments if you get the right people involved. The ones sticklers for rules, or that's not really a word.
Honestly, though, I would take my veto power and I would take Scrabble off the list, and I would put the Game of Life on there.
Really, the Game of Life? Isn't that pretty self-explanatory?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you're not going to argue. I mean, especially when somebody wins and does well, basically because they got the lucky spin at the beginning and got the highest salary.
Oh, yeah.
And they just own you, which is honestly a realistic portrayal of life. I mean,
some people are just going to do better than you.
Exactly that. It's a good list, though. I'm going to give it an 8 out of
10. Yeah, I think I might actually be right there alongside you with 8 out of 10.
Word.
Yeah.
Okay, we have 2 lists left.
Excellent.
Actually, we don't. We do have 2 lists left, but I.
Damn it!
Screwed. Hold on. I screwed some. Hold on. I seem to have lost the URL for one of them.
For shame. A pox on many houses.
Up yours. I'm just going to bring up another random list then.
All right.
Here's one about food.
I like food. I eat that stuff.
Fast food, to be exact.
I sometimes eat that stuff.
The top 10 foreign McDonald's menu items.
Oh,
I've read a lot. I've read a lot about McDonald's menu items from around the world. Honestly, some of them sound fascinating.
You've shown me
I'd like
interesting
to try
fast food meals too before.
Yeah. So these are the ones that I guess you're supposed to be the most interested in, but they're not sold in America. Number 10. From New Zealand, we have the Kiwi Burger. It apparently is a regular quarter pounder. It's got, your beef patty.
Mm-hmm.
It's got lettuce and onions on it and cheese. What makes it a Kiwi Burger is they put beets and an egg on it.
Beets and I don't know, egg burger, really?
I mean, okay, I've had burgers with a fried egg on it. It's delicious.
Really? Oh,
absolutely. Especially if the egg is cooked perfectly, where when you bite into it, it oozes.
That's what you want.
Which doesn't happen at McDonald's, but you got my point.
Well, yeah.
And I have to say, I love beets.
Fresh beets.
Love beets. It's my favorite vegetable. I eat them like they're candy. When I was a small child, my parents would hold my beets aside and make me eat all the other food. Like if I didn't finish everything else, I couldn't have beets.
Wow.
It's my favorite vegetable by far. By far. I love beets. So this is basically, it's a burger with beef, tomato, lettuce, onions, beetroot, egg, and of course, nope, there's no kiwis.
Yeah, I was thinking, wait, where?
So I don't know why they call it
because people from New Zealand are called kiwis.
Yeah. It sounds delicious.
I really, really do not like beets. So
Okay, it's not for everybody, but for me,
no.
an egg and beets,
Right
and
up,
burger
sounds up
cheese,
your
and
alley,
yeah,
man.
yeah. Number 9 is the McLobster. This is from Canada, so you probably are familiar with it.
Um, this is actually very strange because the McLobster, we didn't know of its existence until we went to America. We actually
This is, and they even mentioned this. They're cheating a little on this because you can get the McLobster in certain parts of America.
yeah, like
But they say I love this. They say, I think we can all agree that New England hardly counts as part of the United States. It even has England in the title. Owned.
oh, you got something against New England? Oh well.
I got no problem with them.
But my dad
Whoever wrote
actually
this
got a
stuff.
McLobster because he loves lobster, and we couldn't find it at any. We didn't even know about it in any McDonald's we went to.
I gotta say,
He tried it and said he liked it.
I love lobster. I'm like your dad. I love lobster.
Yeah.
I can't get enough of it. It's delicious. I don't necessarily think that I would eat lobster at McDonald's, but you know what though? I guess I'd give it a shot.
It's worth a shot.
For anybody wondering, it's basically chunks of lobster, lettuce, and I assume some sort of sauce in a hot dog bun.
Mac sauce, maybe?
I don't know if that would be very good. Mayonnaise would make the most sense.
Mayonnaise.
Yeah. Number 8, from Taiwan, Singapore, Indonesia, and the Philippines, the McRice Burger.
Oh, I love rice. What do they got on it?
The McRice Burger is basically a chicken sandwich, but instead of a bun, instead of bread, they have rice cakes.
Dude.
Honestly, it sounds good. I would try it.
I want to try this.
Why not? I'm going to show you the picture because I don't know. They found the one picture of McDonald's food that's not like a promotional picture, but still looks appetizing.
Just looks like somebody took it with a phone camera or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like you know, the thing is like most McDonald's food. You look at the pictures and it looks so appetizing, and then you look at it in real life, and it's like, okay, it doesn't really look that appetizing at all.
The appetizing pictures are actually inedible.
Yeah, because they're not like actually food. But this is like a real picture of one of them, and it actually looks pretty good.
Hey now, I would totally try that.
It's like a healthy version of a Double Down.
Oh God, Double Down.
Number 7, from Israel, we have the McSwarama.
Swarama?
Yeah. They misspelled it. It's shawarma.
Yeah, I was thinking shawarma.
As a matter of fact, in the description they spell it shawarma, but in the header they put swarama.
Maybe that's how it's spelled in Israel?
No, they spell it 2 different ways in the article.
Oh,
one of them. No, yeah, it's a typo. No, they have the correct spelling in the description. McShawarma.
Okay.
It's for anybody who doesn't know what shawarma is. It's basically shredded meat, a very delicious sauce, and veggies all mixed up.
Garlicky.
Yeah, it's very garlicky. You can get beef, chicken, or lamb usually.
Yeah.
In this case, for McDonald's, I'm trying to see if it says. Okay, apparently they do it a little different from real shawarma. The meat is not fried; it's barbecued.
Oh.
And it doesn't. Oh, it's beef. Okay.
Okay.
It does say beef. So that's interesting.
For some reason, I would have thought it would have been lamb. Like just lamb.
Well, I guess in Israel it would be beef, but like if they had it in the rest of the Middle East, it would probably be lamb or chicken.
Yeah.
So that sounds appetizing. I like shawarma. So.
I love shawarmas. I'd give it a try.
Yeah. Number 6. This is probably the least appetizing thing on the menu. From Hawaii, you can apparently get a spam and eggs breakfast.
Spam.
I'm gonna show you the picture of this because this looks disgusting. You're basically getting a couple of slices of spam, which looks more like pepperoni because it's been sitting out.
Lovely spam.
Wonderful
spam.
You have very plastic-looking scrambled eggs. Like I know the scrambled eggs at McDonald's aren't any good, but this looks particularly bad. And then the whole rest of it is just like a big chunk of white rice for whatever reason.
Alrighty.
Like white rice, really? Okay, there's the picture. This does not look tasty. I would not try this.
No, I would feel unsafe eating that.
I would probably throw up after eating that.
I just don't like spam. I don't like spam.
You know what? I don't like spam either. I don't like the look of it. I don't like the smell of it. I don't like anything about it. Let's move on to something that actually looks tasty. From number 5, from Japan, we have the Mega Teriyaki Burger.
Ooh, I do like teriyaki flavor.
Basically, it is a Big Mac, except they apparently dip the patties in teriyaki sauce.
Oh, really?
That sounds good.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. It's a Big Mac, but with teriyaki sauce on it.
That's not a bad idea.
Oh, I would totally order that if I was in Japan. Number 4, from India, we have the McCurry Pan.
I don't know. I do like curry, too. Oh.
Now, I love a good curry. I don't know if I'd go to McDonald's for my curry, especially if I was in India.
Yeah.
But
I'd go for the real deal, yeah.
It comes in its own little bread box, which is kind of interesting. So it's like a box made out of bread, and you get a creamy sauce of... Oh, see, I wouldn't eat this because it has mushrooms in it.
Oh.
A creamy sauce of mushrooms, broccoli, and bell peppers. You could also get it with chicken.
See, if I just get rid of the mushrooms, then, I don't know, might be worth a shot.
Yeah.
Maybe on a dare.
I would not... Yeah, I don't eat anything with mushrooms in it.
Yeah, just ask for no mushrooms.
Number 3 from Norway, we have the McLaxburger.
Uh-oh.
The McLaxburger is your average typical burger with tomatoes and lettuce and onions on it, except it's not beef, it's salmon.
I was going to say laxatives, but salmon. It's salmon. I don't know.
I like me a good piece of salmon, but the thing about it is, to really enjoy salmon, especially a big chunk of it like that, it has to be rare. It can't be overcooked. And I know McDonald's cooks the shit out of everything. So.
Oh, of course, right?
Yeah. It does look tasty, though. Here, let me show you a picture. The guy took a bite out of it, apparently. But this is a picture of what it looks like.
Okay.
There's your Norwegian McDonald's. It actually looks like it comes on some kind of multigrain bun, which
is
it
doesn't look like your typical McDonald's bun.
Yeah, that's a plus.
But I don't know.
Number two from Costa Rica, we have Gallo Pinto.
Gallo Pinto.
I'm not a fan of Gallo Pinto, so I would not eat this. I love a lot of Hispanic food, but...
What is Gallo Pinto translated, if you happen to know?
It's rice and beans, but with black beans.
Hey, I'm down.
It's also it's a breakfast item, too.
Okay, that's kind of weird, but I'd probably give it a try.
Yeah, it's a big heaping black beans and rice with a hash brown and some scrambled eggs on the side.
That doesn't sound that bad.
I'm not a fan of Gallo Pinto, though.
I would totally try that.
And number 1, and this is not actually a food item, but apparently in Hong Kong, you can get your wedding hosted at McDonald's.
Wow.
McWeddings.
McWeddings.
Yeah. It says here, McDonald's restaurants have a generally better image in Asia than here, and that weddings there are also insanely expensive.
Ooh.
Put 2 and 2 together and you end up with the McWedding instead of 4. That's the magic power of Asian math, which is better than white people math. The wedding receptions offered by McDonald's take place in one of their restaurants as the couple and their guests feast on burgers, fries, and shakes. Stacks of apple pie act as the cake. No, really.
Wow.
I'm sorry. That doesn't say much for Hong Kong.
And I mean, to the people who get these McWeddings, I mean, you must
imagine
be really
being
strapped for cash.
Imagine being a guest at one of these, like you get invited to someone's wedding, and it's like at McDonald's.
I wouldn't come.
You know what though? I'm gonna use my veto power here. I'm gonna strike that from existence.
Okay.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna put instead at number 1, and this should be at number 1 in most European countries. France is the most known for it, but in most European countries, you can get a big old cup of beer at McDonald's, and that's awesome.
You can get beer at McDonald's?
McBeer, yo.
McBeer.
They have beer on tap at McDonald's.
Is it a certain brand or is it their own?
You know what? I'm not sure actually.
Like their coffee?
I'm not sure actually. I don't know, but yeah, you can get a beer at McDonald's, and I think that deserves the number 1 spot. A lot of these sound very tasty. The kiwi burger, the lobster thing, the McRice, the shawarma.
Yeah, I would totally try some of
teriyaki.
these. The Gallo Pinto sounds yummy too.
I think that I've heard of a lot of things that belong on the list more than Spam and Eggs. That's disgusting. Mm-hmm. And I'm not really a Gallo Pinto fan. But it was a good list. I'm going to give it a 7. I'm feeling generous. A 7.
I don't know. I would try a lot of these, so I think I might give it an 8.
There you go.
And I'm not necessarily being generous. I think I think 8 out of 10 sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
Beer.
Hold on one second.
Yeah.
I gotta call someone on YouTube an idiot.
Uh-oh. What happened? This is happening live, folks. Unless this is being stricken from the...
No, it is being stricken because the guy's a fucking idiot. There, okay, that's taken care of. All right, anyway, let's move on to our final list.
Okay.
So for our final list, we have... Where's my text file? There it is. And we're going back to video games for the final one.
Thank God.
And, you enjoyed the McDonald's
Of course
list.
I enjoyed it.
You enjoyed the shit out of it.
I did.
The top 10 weirdest Japanese video games.
What a way to end it. Thank you, NecroVMX.
Yes. Okay, so what would you expect to see on here?
Weirdest Japanese video games?
Yeah.
Oh, well, what's that one, there's like a Dead or Alive one where you have to bump people with your butt or something like that. Forget what that one is. You're both like on this little frisbee thing in the middle of a pool, and you both have to bump butts together, and one of them falls off.
Yeah, but that's just one of the mini games in Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball.
Oh, I thought that was a whole game.
No, it's just a mini game in one of the extreme things.
Why did I spend 5 hours playing that? I mean,
Okay. That is pretty weird. The existence of Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball is strange in and of itself, though. So,
but there's much weirder out there. Let's see.
I'm going to personally say I haven't looked at this list. I'm looking at number 10 right now, but I haven't seen the rest of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I would expect to see Boonga Boonga on here, which is this crazy arcade game.
Oh, I know what you mean. Oh my God.
There's like a plastic ass coming out of the arcade cabinet, and you get this giant, oversized finger, and you're supposed to jab the ass with the finger.
How do you do well or badly at a game that just involves you putting one thing into another thing?
If you have to ask, you'll never know. Anyway, I mean, come on, Jesse, you set yourself up real bad.
Yeah, I totally did the way I worded it.
How could you do badly at that?
How can you possibly do badly? I've only ever had good responses to those things.
Number 10 is Cho Aniki.
Oh, yeah, this is a lot of shirtless dudes and...
Yeah. It's actually a whole series in Japan, but they're specifically talking about the one on PlayStation, which is possibly the gayest of them.
Is it the shooter or the fighter?
That's the one that's a shooter.
Yeah, well, okay, they're all pretty weird.
Yeah.
Didn't you try to fight before?
I did play the Super NES one, the Super Famicom one, which was a fighting game, and it's bad.
Yeah.
Number 9 is Super Galdelic Hour.
Okay.
Never heard of this. Let me read the description. Super Galdelic Hour is a game about 4 animals that transform into busty, scantily clad women. Okay, that's Japanese already.
Oh, yeah.
And then compete in a series of simple events designed to make them jiggle about as much as possible.
Okay,
it's sort of like a game show. Yeah, except they're animals that turn into women.
Yeah, that is weird. I'll give them that. That is weird.
Very strange. Number 8 is called I'm Sorry.
Oh, you don't have to apologize.
That's what the game is called. I have no idea what it is. Let's see. I'm Sorry stars former Japanese Prime Minister Kakui Tanaka, and the player's goal is to collect gold bars while dodging enemies. It's a satirical take on Tanaka's greed. He was involved in numerous bribery scandals. That much we understand. But the rest of the game isn't satire, it's madness. The enemies Tanaka has to avoid aren't policemen or rival politicians. Instead, he's on the run from Michael Jackson, Madonna, and Carl Lewis, along with a couple of Japanese celebrities. If they catch Tanaka, they'll strip him down to a diaper, change into a leather bikini, and then whip him.
What the hell is going on?
Only in Japan, man. Only in Japan. Wow. Number 7... Yeah.
Oh.
Number 7 is not any particular game, but it's I guess you could call it a series of games called Toilets. Yep, they have video games that you play in the urinal with your piss stream.
Oh, were these made by Sega?
I think they were made by Sega. I don't see the Sega logo there, but I think I did hear that Sega made
Yeah, because I think I heard that too, but yeah wow.
Yeah. It says the Toilets project is just in the testing stage right now. This must be an old article.
Yeah.
With 4 games available in select washrooms across Japan. An LCD screen above the urinal gives you instructions, while pressure pads measure the strength of your stream. Objectives range from cleaning graffiti to making a gust of wind blow a woman's skirt up. See, that can get awkward if you're at the urinal and you're peeing and you blow up a woman's skirt and then you get a boner while you're peeing. Yeah, it would be bad.
Boner piss. Although I don't like the overtone that you're basically peeing on a girl, kind of. Like you're peeing and you're watching this girl.
It's Japan.
And it's happening because of you.
This is Sal Gouvernail's best favorite game here. Number 6 is called, and I've heard of this one, Princess Maker.
I think I've heard it. I think isn't that a series as well?
Yeah, it's a series, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want a daughter, but you don't want to put in all the time, effort, and money required to raise one? Or maybe you're willing to make that sacrifice, but nobody on the planet will willingly reproduce with you. Well, whichever it is, Princess Maker games have you covered. Now you too can raise a little girl into a young woman, and from the comfort of your living room. Thankfully, the game's title isn't literal. You don't actually have to make the girl. If you're disappointed by the lack of sex, there are approximately 500,000 other Japanese games that have you covered.
No kidding.
Instead, you control 8 years of her life with an iron fist, dictating everything from what she studies and where she works to what clothes she wears. Once she turns 18, your decisions affect how she'll live the rest of her life. She might choose to become anything from a priest to a high-end prostitute to a professional dominatrix. Or if you're lucky, she'll decide to marry you.
Wait, what?
Man. Yeah, you know a game is weird when the father-daughter incest isn't the creepiest possible ending.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
See, I thought it was just like, you make a princess, but I didn't realize it was controlling her life and possibly her ending up married. Oh, no, just...
Yeah.
No.
All right, are you ready for this next one?
Yep.
Number 5 is called Galgun.
Galgun. Take me away.
No. Galgun.
Oh, Galgun.
As in, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. As in, apparently you play as a teenage boy who's so popular with the ladies that they're swamping you.
Ooh.
And it's a first-person shooter where you shoot a pheromone gun at them to get them off of you.
Wait, you shoot a pheromone gun at them to get them off of you?
Apparently it makes them come.
Oh my god. And
it says, this is what it says. Players control an average, I don't think he's average, an average teenage boy who has somehow become the most popular guy at school for the day. This, of course, means that every girl within a 10-mile radius rushes blindly towards you, gushing with hormones and wanting to do God knows what to your manhood. Your only choice is to fight them off with your pheromone shot, which elicits plenty of erotic moaning and jiggling before the girls fall to their knees, overwhelmed by your masculinity.
Jesus, every teenage boy's dream, I guess.
Huh. Yeah, but if you lose, doesn't that mean they have sex with you?
Yeah, I guess, because you're using the gun instead of, yourself.
So you're trying to keep them away from you.
Yeah. Wait a minute, I think this game's doing it wrong.
Yeah, I think totally doing it wrong. Number 4 is called Love Death. Apparently it's a series. There's been 5 of them.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's similar to the last one. It's fending off nubile teenagers. Half erotic game, half beating the crap out of schoolgirls with sporting goods simulator. Love Death allows you to go to a town on a bunch of anime girls with baseball bats, fishing poles, and much more, including a mystery liquid that certainly isn't suggestive in the slightest.
No way.
Ostensibly, yeah. Ostensibly, there's a story and objectives, but every video we can find of this game suggests that players use it for nothing more than gunning down hallways full of schoolgirls with soccer balls. But don't worry, according to these games, Japanese girls don't even mind getting assaulted.
Jeez, man, that's so wrong.
Yeah. Number 3 is called Doki Doki Majo's Shinpan.
Sounds familiar.
This is, I've heard of this through Penny Arcade, actually. I call it the Witch Toucher game.
Oh, I've actually sampled this on the DS before, and it's freaking weird.
DS.
I didn't know what it was, but I was just like, witches, I'll give it a try. And it was like, no, delete.
Basically, you go around a school and molest chicks with your stylus to find out if they're witches.
Because apparently they keep all their witch powers in their vaginas.
Yeah. And actually, it's extra creepy because apparently this takes place at a junior high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, at first I thought they were just kind of chibi-ish. Turns out not so much.
Yeah.
They are the age they look.
Which is unfortunate.
Man, people
Number two is called Facening de Hyojo Yukata ni Inship Up Otana no Dia Sao Training.
I think I dated a girl named that.
Yeah, I heard she was a notorious slut.
Totally, man.
In English, that would be called Facening for Rich Expressions to Boost Impressions Adult DS Face Training.
Okay.
It's an application for your DS that guides you through facial exercises to give you a prettier face.
No.
It's a DSiWare game. It uses the camera to look at your face and grades you on how well you're doing. And the theory is that if you master these facening exercises, your skin will become more elastic and expressive.
Really? Do we really need these kinds of things? I mean,
Yeah. And number one is Boonga Boonga.
Hey, you win the prize.
I'm gonna read this whole thing for anybody out there who doesn't know what Boonga Boonga is. Boonga Boonga is an arcade game about spanking. Literally, the goal is to whack a faux fanny built into the machine. According to Wikipedia, the game is designed to simulate Kancho, a children's prank popular in Japan, where the victim is poked with 2 fingers in the anal region while distracted. So basically, what you do is your little school friend bends over to pick up a penny, and you take 2 fingers and give him a Mickey.
Give him a Mickey.
And that is a children's prank that is popular in Japan. I got to say something about this. No wonder Japanese people grow up to be perverts. No wonder the culture is so weird and so focused on schoolgirls and rape and panties and everything. Because they get poked in the ass as children. They're all traumatized. If they could just put a stop to that, stop the kids from poking each other's in the ass, teach them that's not a prank, that's sexual harassment, and it should be illegal, and maybe, just maybe, Japan will be, less weird.
Wow, this really touched a nerve with you, didn't it?
I just imagine you're 10 years old, you're on this playground, and you're just playing around, and some other kid comes and jams his fingers in your anus.
I want to know, how did this get popular?
If this happened in America, the kid would get arrested,
yeah.
The school would be sued, the parents would be sued.
Child would go through therapy.
Exactly. Because we all realize that being poked in the ass is traumatic. I mean, and they're not talking about just like a little slap. It's 2 fingers jabbing into the anal region while the person is distracted.
And in Japan, this is just a boys will boys kind of thing.
Yeah. They're like, oh, well, they got to learn sometime,
They're like, learn
I think that's where I think that's where Choaniki comes from, too.
Oh, no.
What are you going to give this list? I'm gonna say
it's progressively weirder.
All of these were very strange. Some of them I hadn't heard of.
A couple of them I have.
I think it was a great list, and I guess I feel like I'm being very generous today, but I'm gonna give it a 10.
Oh, I was thinking 9 out of 10 because I had heard of some of these, so they weren't as weird, as I was expecting.
Well, they're still weird, though.
Yeah, they're still pretty weird.
What on there is not weird? I mean, just because you've heard of it doesn't mean you're weird. That it's weird. It means you're weird.
Yeah, it means I'm weird.
You've played the Witch Toucher game on DS.
Exactly. Not like, and this I went into it not knowing what it was. So I'm like, wait, why do I have to lift up the? No.
Yeah, and they're all like 12, so
yeah,
it's not even sexy.
Nope.
I remember the thing on Penny Arcade about it, where Gabe is like, I got this Witch Toucher game for the DS. It's from Japan, and Tycho's like, well, what's the deal with that? He's you touch girls to find out if they're witches, and he's just like, that sounds pretty fucked up. And he's like, no, you don't understand. You touch girls to find out if they're like. He's really into it.
Yeah.
No, I think actually the punchline was something like, so what's it about? And he's like, who cares?
Yeah, but these are like girls in the truest sense of the word. They're not.
Well, I don't think they've actually played it.
Okay.
Yeah, Japan's weird.
Very strange.
Mostly good lists this month. I think that top 10 JRPGs list was a travesty, but other than that, pretty good.
It certainly faltered in many places.
Yeah. And, learning that Boonga Boonga is based on, kids jabbing each other's assholes.
Well, you never partaken in a, whatever they call that move, the Boonga Boonga move?
The poncho or whatever.
Poncho.
It reminded me of this joke I had once, right? And I'm going to tell you this. Do you remember, it was about, I want to say, 8 to 10 years ago.
Okay.
When McDonald's experimented with this thing where they had two kinds of coffee. They had the bold coffee and the smooth coffee.
I don't know.
Yeah, for a while they had this thing where you can get two different roasts at McDonald's. Nobody got the smooth coffee, so it was like they just got rid of that after a while.
Okay.
Like, basically the bold coffee was like the regular McDonald's coffee, and the smooth coffee was kind of like a breakfast blend, or it tasted like it was watered down, actually.
Ew.
What I've heard is that's actually how they made the smooth roast. They watered it down.
Ah, dude.
Yeah, I always... And for a while, I had to specify when I went to McDonald's, I want a large coffee, black and bold.
Black and bold.
What's funny is for a while, and like I said, this is 8 to 10 years ago, I was going to this McDonald's in the drive-thru, and there's this really cute black chick.
Yeah.
I was there, and I'd be like, I want my coffee black and bold.
And then you look at her and you're like, kind of like you.
Well, she would smile at me. She was very friendly.
Okay.
But, in case anybody's wondering, no, I never made a move. I think she was like 18 years old anyway, so,
Oh, well. But 8 to 10 years ago, you would have been 22?
23, 22, yeah.
80, well, yeah, okay.
I think it was about 8 years ago. I'm 30, so,
Yeah.
I'm going to be 31 next month, so.
Hey.
There you go.
We should do a special birthday episode of List Critics.
You know what? We should do that. And you know what your birthday present to me would be?
Mm-hmm.
Next month we'll do it differently. You come up with the lists.
Oh,
and you read them to me. So you have a whole month to come up with 100 things, like 10 top 10 lists or whatever. And you read it because I'd like to be surprised for once. I'd like to be the one that, is surprised by everything.
You mean like me coming up with my own personal lists?
No, you just find them on the internet.
Oh, find them.
I'll still read the user submitted ones, but then you read, because basically these lists are all found on the internet. I just read them to you.
That's not a bad idea.
So there you go.
You'll have to remind me about it because I will forget.
I'll remind you about it.
Thanks.
It doesn't take long to find, whatever. You can do one top 100 list, 10 top 10 list, 2 top 50 list, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I had this whole thing, this joke about the smooth and bold roast. I was thinking, what would be a great way to advertise it is, I came up with this whole advertising campaign in my head that would never exist in reality because it's just fucking awful. But it was all based on the, that's bold or that's smooth, right?
That's smooth. That's bold.
Yeah, and so for the bold commercial, you'd have like, okay, something bold happening, right? So I think, like, what if you have this guy in the shower, right? And he's showering up, and then he gets done, he turns off the water, and, he steps out of the shower, and he gets his towel on, and then the towel drops, so he bends over to pick it up. And then all of a sudden, this guy bursts into the room behind him and hocks a loogie in his asshole. and then it just, and he's like, what the, and it goes to a screen, like a blank screen, and somebody slams the coffee cup down, and it goes, that's bold. I remember telling my friend Mike about that, because he thought he knew where I was going with it, and he was way off. Then when I got to hock a loogie up the guy's asshole. just burst into the room and right up his asshole. And he was completely speechless. It was hilarious. And then the coffee comes down. Boom, that's bold. I mean, come on, that's a great commercial. And then, so for the other one, the converse, right?
Mm-hmm.
You'd have this guy in this like huge penis car, like one of those like big red convertibles, huge motor, like a straight
douchey
six or
cars.
something. Yeah, like just a cock car, and he pulls up to these young hot ladies, that are all congregated on a street corner, and he's got his like douchey sunglasses and leather jacket, and
the risky business sunglasses.
His Fonzie hair, and he looks at them and he's like, "Hey, ladies, does anybody want to come by my place and give me a blowjob as I watch the football game?" And then like a good 5 to 10 seconds of total silence as they just stare at him. And then they're just like, "Yeah, totally," and they jump in the car and he drives off. And then the coffee comes down. And it's like, that's smooth.
Oh man!
I mean, I just love fucking with people because like, okay, let's face it. You're in a bathroom, you're nude, you just bent over, a guy bursts in behind you.
Oh no!
You kind of think you know what's going to happen.
Oh yeah!
But then he just goes and he hocks a loogie up your asshole.
Whoa!
Yeah, that's surprising because it makes you think it's going to go in one direction and it goes in another. And like if a guy, used that line and they staring at him, you're just waiting for him to either drive off in shame or for one of them to go fuck off, asshole.
Yeah.
Not, oh yeah, totally. Like, hey, you want to come blow me while I watch the football game?
I thank God somebody finally drove by here and asked me that.
Yeah, I've been waiting all day.
Mm-hmm.
Good Lord. I mean, yeah, so that, I don't know why I brought that up. I forgot. This had something to do with Boonga Boonga, didn't it?
Yeah, because the whole add something into the ass. I
guess. That's why I don't know. I forgot why I brought it up. And when I listened to the recording, I was like, oh, that's why I brought it up. Dirt. When I herp, I always dirt.
You can't herp without derp.
You can't, literally. If you can herp without derping, you're a better man than I. But no, in all seriousness, great episode of List Critics.
I'd say so.
We had a lot of fun, but we have reached the end of it.
We had some laughs, we cried a little bit on the inside.
Well, I cried on the inside when I read that Japanese video game RPG list.
Well, that controversial list was very depressing.
Yeah, that put a bad taste in my mouth, but it was in a good way because it's like it was all, it's condemning it, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's good to raise awareness about fucked up shit like that.
Yeah, no kidding.
So that we know that it's happening.
And also raise awareness about incorrectly placing video games on top 10 lists.
And also spelling shawarma correctly.
Swarama?
I can't understand how they put swarama in the header, and then when you go to the description, it's spelled right. Like, you just spelled it wrong, and now you're going to spell it right?
Yeah, I don't know. That's weird.
I don't get it, personally. But whatever. And you know what? I don't know what disturbed me more, the controversial games list or the spam and eggs.
Really? Spam it? You're still on the spam?
Oh, I'm messing with you, you asshole. Well, any parting words of wisdom, or you want to hock a loogie up somebody's asshole, or anything to say before we sign off here?
Just don't partake in any boonga boonga, at least around me, because
if you're gonna partake in boonga boonga, use protection.
Yeah, wear a glove.
Yeah, wear a glove, exactly.
No glove, no love, right?
I remember my mother once said something fucked up, like, it was like in the beginning of like when the internet was just becoming a big thing, and
the internet,
and like cyber sex was a thing.
Yeah.
And she says something like she was meant it as a joke, but it was so weird. It was like, if you ever have cyber sex, make sure you use protection. and I was like, what would that be? Gloves and sunglasses?
Put up a firewall.
Oh, there you go, a firewall.
Yeah.
There you go. That was pretty good.
Hey,
that was pretty good. Or actually use protection with me. Check the chick's profile to make sure it's actually a chick or something.
But make sure you don't get a backdoor orifice, if you know what I mean.
Oh.
Hey now, hey.
Hey now. That was.
Now.
Okay, and I'm going to leave you with these parting words of wisdom. And I think that it's the two most important words that you'll ever hear in your life, and you should really listen up closely because this is going to help you
ice cream
in your future endeavors. And I just want to say, Earthbound fucking sucks.
That's 3 words. You're wrong. I win. Earthbound is now the best game in the world. Bye.
I was originally just going to say Earthbound sucks, but it's like I can't say it without cursing.
No, it's good. Bye.
It's a